Welcome everyone to the FATED Connections Path of Exalt Community Podcast, episode number 106. I'm hearing myself because I don't have the thing muted, but that doesn't hurt because I'm very hyped for a very special episode today. And before we start bringing on the guests, let's see how the co-host Balor Mage is doing. How have you been, Balor?
Welcome. Awake. Does that count?
That's a novelty.
I didn't accidentally stay asleep.
All right. Let's get started. We have a lot of things to talk about, a lot of guests, so very limited talking time per person. So we don't want to waste any of it. And our first guest for today is a content giant, someone who has been pumping out more YouTube content this first month than many streamers do in the entire league. Let's go. Here is Zizaran. How are you doing?
Mom,
yeah, you're
I'm
actually
on TV. Live. I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I can't complain. Beautiful day, beautiful time. Can't wait to get started.
I'm excited too. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming. And let's see. We got a beastly gamer. Probably, if I researched correctly, the first person to ever hit level 100 on a fresh start solo self-found HC in one sitting this league. The one and only amazing Karn. Let's go. Welcome.
What's up?
Yo. What's up?
I don't know whether to congratulate him on that or call for help.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. I think what did you say in your video, Karn? It was a professional stunt executed by a professional gamer.
Sure. Yes. Don't do this at home, kids.
Yeah, don't do it.
And then last but certainly not least, we got the CEO of the current Chat SF Private League, the one and only Steel Mage. Let's go. How are you doing, Steel?
I'm doing very good. Thank you very much. Good to be here.
Yeah, glad to have you on. And without further ado, let's just give people context by talking about what we started as in this league and how well that worked for the league mechanic. Who wants to go first? Because Bella and I had already talked about this a lot, so the guests need to go first on this. Ziz, tell us.
What did I start with? Oh, I started with Toxic Rain. It was really good, but honestly, I wish I'd started with Champion just because you get so much free defense for hardcore, and I just didn't find a taste of hate. And then later on, made a new character, which was the artillery ballista on a Pathfinder, and that died. So yeah, and then I remade a champion, and that's still alive. That's actually about to hit level 100, so that's nice. That's sort of where I'm at right now. I'm just like spam farming currency for new characters.
Wait, so the Toxic Rain character again was a Pathfinder instead, and you wish you would have done Duelist instead.
Yeah. Champion just gets so much like free stuff at the start of a league. Like when you don't have a taste of hate, you just don't really have any defense.
Yeah, but with the changes to Pathfinder, I was really tempted to do Pathfinder as well. The life sustained from the flask seems quite amazing.
Yeah, it was good. It actually only died because I suicided it in a crazy map that I didn't want to risk my main character.
Makes sense. Well, we already know what Karn played, but like maybe you want to tell people a little bit what did you pick to go for the level 100 rush in SSFHC?
Well, I mean, the thing is like I hit level 100 before, but not on a new build like this. So I want to try something different this time, right? And actually, Steel Mage convinced me. He was like, I was not sure if I was gonna do it. I was like, do I push 100? Do I not? I just want to play the game and chill. But then Steel Mage was like, no, you gotta do it. You never won the SF League, just like I did. Me, Steel Mage, the greatest player of all time. No, okay, he didn't say that, but yeah, like he was like, oh, you never won the SF League, so you should do it. And I was like, he was actually taunting me a little bit. I was like, okay, fine, I'll do it.
It worked, didn't it? It worked.
Yeah, it worked. But yeah, no, the one session thing was not premeditated. I just found myself like 40 hours-ish in, and I was like, I'm 98 and a half or something, like 90, that was 97, I don't know, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna do it. Like,
that doesn't really happen to anyone else. I found myself 48 hours into the session.
I was video games, and then I looked down, and 2 days had passed. This is fine.
Yeah, I mean, it was fine. Like, I was only on like three wins. No, wait, I was only on 3 wins, so it was not that bad. I could have gone longer, I think. Actually, I could have gone longer for sure because when I finished, I was not tired. I could have.
Don't get me wrong. I regularly stream like 30-ish hours on the league start, but by the end of about 30, I'm feeling pretty tired. Like I know I'm not gonna accidentally do 12 more and be like, oh, whoops. Like,
well, it's different though. Like when you're just playing to play. And like if I just play to play, I play like what 12 hours. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go eat some food, watch something, and call it a day, whatever. But like, I was racing. It's very different. If I'm racing, I can go. I don't know. There's no limit.
There's no limit.
Giga Chad.
Yeah.
just no sleeping at all. It's fine.
Definitely admirable. This sort of motivation and drive. Steel, how far did your first build take you, and how well did it work for the mechanic and the circumstances of being in a solo self-found, group self-found setting with your own chat?
Right. Well, I league started Impending Doom, which is not really a good idea because if you're familiar with that build, you really want a pair of gloves called Vixens. But instead, I made an entire league dedicated to funneling me items, and so I had Vixens in the first day, and so that went fine. Not really. I didn't even bother using the Vixens till the second day. But yeah, I actually ended up finding out some alternatives to make it work, pushed through it, and ended up with a really, really, really strong build overall. I pushed that build to level 100, farmed Ubers for all the boys, did watchstones and everything, like shared that. It was really good. Had fun with it.
Did you do a
Sounds
whole
great.
bunch of carrying in the private because it was a
Yeah.
private league?
Yeah, I just wanted to get everybody their watchstones so that they could. It's kind of like communist league, right? So I was able to get them the watchstones so that they can farm currency for everybody else later.
Yep.
Lamau. So that worked really well. And I'm probably one of the only out of these two, you know, Khan and Ziz. I'm probably one of the only people that actually did 100% Crucible like day 1, day 2 of the league, right?
Oh yeah, I haven't done
No,
it yet.
I was
I'm not
doing it, but then I like kept getting like almost one shot, and I was like, "This is fucked."
Yeah. Yeah. No,
I heard from
same
people
thing.
that you got like a lot worse from like if you went to like 98 or 99. I don't know exactly. Like it's like
Yeah,
from
you
1%
nearly
to
feel it, it's
another.
fine.
Yeah, and so apparently like it gets crazy if you full charge versus like only 98 or 97. I'm not sure.
Yeah, and if you have like 100%
Yeah.
Crucible monsters and they god possessed, it's like, oh, okay, cool, new character.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
they do that one. I don't know which move it's called, but the one with like the cross pattern of light
Solaris.
Yeah,
No, wait.
that
Yeah.
at
Yeah,
100%
Solaris
feels
probably.
like it one shots every
I have.
character I own. Like it just here's a whole screen grid. Everybody's dead.
Yeah, it's really rough.
Is there even a difference if you full charge or like just barely not full charge?
I think there is, yeah. I think they mentioned they nerfed it until it's so you know they nerfed it a while ago, Khan. I think that only applies to pre-100.
Yeah, but I mean in terms of rewards, like, do you get like I don't think
That
Yeah, more geodes apparently.
I thought they gave a buff to geode spawns at 100, but I'd have to read the patch
Yeah.
note again.
yeah, who cares?
We did,
Yeah.
and that might matter for
Yeah.
solo self-found stuff. But like it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
There's no reason to do 100 in trade unless you obliterate it, because those
Yeah.
unopened are like 5 or 10C or something. Like
Shit.
eh.
You get it. Yeah.
I didn't never bothered.
I'd say it matters less in hardcore because I don't know, one more geode, but you have to roll a new character from level 1 doesn't seem like a fair trade.
It's not a win, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was walking with Noogie because obviously I'm the only one playing softcore out of the Belfast boys, and I think we ended up having a walk pretty early on, few days into the league, and I think I grabbed them by the collar. I was like, "Don't 100%, don't do it."
Yeah.
Yeah, Steel gave me like the lowdown on like, so that unique monster one hits you, that unique monster one hits you, that unique monster one hits you, because he was watching a clip of me like avoiding like the Australian jumping spider, and I was like, I bet you this thing lands on me, I'm fucking gone. And Steel on the walk, he's
Yep.
like, by the way,
Yep.
that spider, yeah, you're gone.
Yeah, if that lands on your head, you die. That's
Like, oh great.
Yeah, the unique bosses are all pretty rough, and in terms of, I mean, even between, undoubtedly, the difference between even the 90 plus and a 100 is massive. The Crucible seems to be very, very hard if charged to 100, but like even between different encounters charged to 100, there's a massive difference in difficulty depending on what rares and what mods you get and whether you get a unique. Like the uniques are insanely tanky and very bursty.
Yeah, and there's no difference in the rewards either.
Yeah.
Kind of weird.
Annoyingly enough, there's super high variance in the rewards, but it's based on stuff I can't even control. That has no difference, nothing to do with how far I've charged it.
Right,
The variance in how much like XP you get and that sort of stuff is all based on the kind of mobs that spawn and how many at each rarity. You can just happen to spawn more rares, and that one will be more dangerous and give you way more XP. And you can just happen to spawn a unique and you get way more XP, but you've got no control over it. And it's worse because the map mods don't even matter. If you run white maps that are just tier 16, you're the same amount of juice.
They did
Yeah,
do
like-
something with quantity affecting it. I can't remember what though.
Affecting geode drops, but if you're just trying to juice items, you get the same amount of like
Yeah.
the bar filled.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah, no control at all. Okay.
It's like sometimes I full charge the first level. I always do this exact same amount. And sometimes full charges very easily. Sometimes it's like off by like I don't know, like 15%, and I'm like, okay, I don't know.
Yeah, with the league now that we've been playing for a while, we've seen some insane items already. I don't know whether you guys have seen this one that I'm showing on the screen right now. This titanium spirit shield someone made and posted on Reddit, which, okay, this has the advanced mod description, so you can't see the total energy shield, but I believe it was like 915 total energy shield on top of level 3 enlightened support and the SST mod. And undoubtedly, there's like some really insane power at the top end, but is that enough carrot on a stick to engage with the league mechanic from a risk reward point of view, seeing that there's almost no immediate rewards or they're very small?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, you're like very, very easily getting like really, really good items. Like I've got so many like +1 bows or +1 bows with like local attack speed and global less damage. Like it's very easy to get like pretty build enabling items this league. So like that part is good, but it still feels a bit like half a league.
Yeah, like
You were saying, Karn?
oh. Yeah, I like cooking axes, try to get the right tree and like combine them. The entire problem is just recombining was so random. It's like even after figuring out like how it worked, and like you need the right position, the right mod, the right position, etc., etc. It's still like you just randomly get a tree like with like one mod, for example. They fixed that, but yeah, it was I don't know. It's like it feels pretty bad, like making like just you do the mechanic for a while, and then you finally get the two trees you want to combine. Then you combine them, and it's something that's nothing to do with what we recombine. So it's like
Yeah, and it's like a little extra frustrating because it seems so easy to fix. Like you make it like if you get one currency one that like say it sells for 20 chaos or 30 chaos or something. Like there's a few like really easy fixes for that. If an item says it like sells for something, make it be instant. Maybe be like if you get like allocate the node, it's like I don't know half as much. So 20C would be 30 or whatever. 3 divines would be 4 divines, etc. Like that would be a really good fix for that because like getting those rewards and then taking 10, 15 maps to actually get the 20 kills, that doesn't feel good. I've never done that. I haven't done that on one item. And then another thing they should do is they should have like any unique, any rare that drops from Crucible monster should have a Crucible tree.
Oh, no. Every unique should have a Crucible tree regardless.
No.
Uniques should drop and just be unavailable Crucible trees exactly like all the rares are. I think it's ridiculous that they don't.
I mean, I guess it's kind of annoying having to go through the special geode for that, to be honest.
Like I don't know how many of them you actually get. in solo self-earn because I just buy them all. But like, I don't know. I opened the 30 I had in my inventory one time and didn't have one that could add to a unique tree. And I'm like, what if your build just happens to use a unique weapon and a unique shield, and that's the build you want to play? Congratulations, you're in standard. Like, what? How are you supposed to build a tree? You can't even.
Yeah.
There's like a few options. It's either a really rare, expensive, hard to get unique. You're never going to be able to build a tree on because you have to get multiple copies and smash them together. It has to be
That's
the
just to
exact
get a
same
perfect
unique.
one, though.
Well, even just an okay one with 2 or 3 nodes.
I've had like almost every Crucible unique I've done. I've had at least one good node, like extra base ES, extra base life, something.
Maybe. But that's the event for the expensive one, or the event for like, I'm using a relatively common one. Like I'm gonna build I don't know, something that uses a quill rain. Quill rain's pretty common. You get plenty of them all the time. But now you're limited by these geodes that are like way rarer, and you've got to smash out a whole bunch of them and try and put them together. It feels like it's made more difficult for no reason at all. I don't think it would take away anything or give too much power to just let trees exist on uniques. Like, at least comparatively to how much it affects people with rares. Like, yeah, they're a lot of power. I get it. Even the first node on those trees are a lot of power. But if you just happen to be using a unique in your build, why do we not have the same level of access as someone who doesn't happen to be using a unique? Doesn't make sense to separate those two, in my brain at least.
Yeah, I don't really like this. What exemplifies this experience? So I league started Poison Concoction, and as Chris said, we shouldn't design a league to accommodate all builds. So I'm just completely shafted right out of the bat. And so my whole chat saying, "Why don't you do the league mechanic?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm not using a weapon." And then I finally upgrade to an impending doom setup where I have Apex. Same problem. It's like, well, there was very few Apex for sale at the beginning. And yeah, I didn't have the geode. So it was kind of like, I'm not going to do it for that either. And so I ended up not interacting with the league mechanic, even though I wanted to, because I wanted to for the sake of at least Twitch to be like, hey guys, look at the mechanic Pog. But there was no point to do it for like, I think it wasn't until I swapped to a 6-link staff, maybe day 3. So it took me 3 days before I even got to even have any benefit of doing the mechanic at all, really. So I thought it was like, that was very frustrating.
It's a very frustrating mechanic in general. I've never felt like a league. It's like, it's surprisingly enjoyable, and I just feel like I'm playing standard.
We're in this very lucky space where the base game right now is actually really good again. Like it was, I think it was quite shit just recently. They fixed that right up, and the base game is great. And so,
like Calandra was awful.
Yeah, like I would play this game right now if all it had was an economy reset and no league at all, and that often feels like what I'm doing. But it's good enough that I'm excited to play it anyway. Like I'm still excited to come back to PoE, but it's all on the base game right now.
Yeah.
I actually think that there's so many build possibilities that even if you're an SSF, it's kind of amazing to see all that. But like from a gameplay point of view, often can feel a little bit like standard. What was your opinion, by the way, out of curiosity, Karn, on the uniques being gated behind the crystalline geodes, or the trees on uniques rather? Is that something you can get behind, or is it?
Wait, they're not gated behind crystalline geodes.
No, they're just
you need it's like regular geode that have they just roll them out that allows you to add the tree.
Yeah, my mistake.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's a problem for common uniques, not less common uniques, because rare uniques you're already accepting that it's gonna be really difficult to get good trees on them. But like common uniques, you're like, okay, I'm using a career ward or something stupid, and you can't really get the tree on it because you need making a good tree is like you actually at least expect to have a good tree on a common unique because it's common. But the reality is you're probably not gonna have enough geode to make the tree that you need, or that's probably that's the only part where I'm like, I'm okay with like rare uniques being difficult to make trees on. But like the common ones though, like yeah, that's kind of annoying.
Yeah, that's why I want them to drop Crucible trees.
Or just any items.
Yeah.
But sometimes, wait, hold on. Yeah. No, it was like one time a mob on Crucible dropped me fractured +1 spell on a wand, and I was like, oh, they drop stuff.
That's... All right. I have a question. If you had not already played it yet, right? But we know the information we knew beforehand. We've got up to 5 nodes on a shield, 5 nodes on a weapon. If you're in a trade league, you can trade for it, but you're just like an average player. How many nodes that were decent for your build would you have expected an average person to be able to get? Not like no life degenerates like a lot of us, but like just an average person playing. How many decent
3.
okay nodes would you expect to be able to make on a weapon?
1.
2. I would say 2.
I was gonna say 3.
Well,
1.
I was thinking 2 to 3.
Yeah.
No. That's crazy. Like most new players aren't even interacting with Crucible.
Not
Nearly
new.
every new player I've helped this league doesn't have a Crucible tree.
Yeah, definitely not new. I just mean like your average returning player. Like,
Right.
Well, I mean,
I've
I've unveiled
done 2 to
items and
3.
had. Yeah, I feel like you don't have to do the whole imprint Crucible 5-tier perfect mods to get 2 mods. I feel like you can literally unveil it and be like attack speed and flat physical, and then that's like usable. Right?
Well, wasn't the question like before we knew anything, before we played the league? What we
yeah,
expected?
like how much would
Yeah,
you have expected people to
Yeah,
get?
because without
Ah.
knowing anything, without knowing anything, for me, I would expect 3. Because,
I would still say 2.
Yeah, it's like 2 or 3. Yeah, because like the tier 5 one, I was expecting them to be more realistic, but they're just if you want to attribute like a good tier 5 and multiple good nodes, that thing is good luck.
It seems
But
it seems relatively easy to get 2, but as soon as
2 is
you want
easy.
3 on something that's already crafted, or something that's fractured, or something that's a unique, or something you can't imprint and split, 3 becomes insanely hard. Like it took me 7.5 hours and 60 divines to get 3 nodes, and they were just average nodes. I wasn't even looking for the top tier.
On a
I got my
unique,
perfect bow in like an hour, Baylor. Like 4 perfect mods, Keystone,
4
Explodey,
in an hour?
multi-explodey,
What?
global damage.
Don't
Yeah.
tell cute dog.
No, it took me 7.5 hours and 40 divines to get 3 nodes on just a wand I had, and I was like,
2
this
nodes?
is actually mental. And then 3 nodes. That's all I was after. And then today I spent another probably only 10 divines, but 3.5 hours trying to get three nodes again on a different weapon, a different wand for a different build, and ended up just the only thing I walked away from that 10 or 20 divines and 4 hours of my time, and the only thing I got out of that was like dread of interacting with it again and the ability to give up and just be like, you know what, this build will be powerful enough, I don't need a tree. And I just walked away, like, forget about it, I don't want it anymore.
I managed to make it like a 4 mod axe, but I did that on one item before I crafted it though. Like I'm pretty sure you want to make your tree before you craft. Like I think if you craft it, then you try to get a tree on it, then it's on you. Yeah.
So the
uniques, obviously there's no choice. But...
Yeah, it's either it's unique, or if it's something that has to be crafted from like a fractured base, then you're screwed because you can't.
Yeah, that one too. That's why I didn't even bother with fractures because of that. Like I didn't even try to get a fracture axe because like, then like what I have to try to get a tree into this, and like it was already hard enough with like just shuffling axes, like going through axes, like I don't know, like every map, and it was still a problem.
That's a great side question. Do you think that the introduction of these trees makes, at least for weapons and shields, for the slots where you can get the trees, does that provide a good counterbalance to the overpowering dominance, say, of fractured items, or you think there was already a good balance since fractured items can't be influenced? I mean,
no, I think
hunter.
No. I mean, the thing is, like, for example, a fractured axe, for example, it's basically done. If it's fractured, it's already made. It's already finished. But like now with that, like, the problem is like fractures, like they're not easy to acquire though. So I don't know if it was needed. it's not something that was needed because it was really like fluctuating orbs. Last league they were kind of farmable. Like it was taking me about 8 hours, I'd say, to farm one orb. But that was with like full juice, like a sexton and everything, sexton, scarabs, device. Device is gone, so that I think fractional orb this league are just so much harder to farm.
Yeah,
so it's
I mean,
either that or just find it. So
I think that's I share the same idea, but that's also probably like SSF because on Trade League they do have access to whatever fractured base they want.
yeah, that's true.
Like the game is just better for SSF right now. Although I would actually say this is still a pretty bad SSF league.
Yeah, it is pretty bad. I mean, especially since we don't have divines. Like that was my number one problem with this league. Was like we don't have divines.
I
So,
know.
like,
I've only dropped like
SSF is-
60.
Yes,
Yeah.
okay. Like, oh my god. Like, I've got enough divines. I've got it to do what I needed to do for now because I haven't gotten to craft my item yet, my weapon yet. But like, you don't have a way. Like, if you end up in a situation where you need divines, you cannot just be like, okay, I'm gonna farm this to get divines. You just play the game. They drop on the ground or they don't. We do
You can
cemeteries.
blight.
That's it. Yeah, I mean, it's the same. It's the same as just killing monsters. Although blight, I think blight is good for this. Yeah, like the little bit I farmed blighted maps was actually pretty good for divines.
Yeah.
But I mean,
What's the
it's
current
still like
patch?
you're gonna farm all day. Yeah, I don't know. Farming blight to get divines is it really the best right now? Might be the best. It's not
We
the
just
best.
don't really have like good divine sources, so it probably is the best. Yeah.
Yeah, like, I think it's pretty bad. Yeah, it's like I said, in the situation. Okay, I need 2 divines now to metamorph this item. What do I do? Well, it's like I guess run cemeteries and cope or do blight. I guess. But
Yeah. Yeah. Cemeteries are pretty nice, especially on like SSF because like I've been just spam double corrupting lightning coils.
all right, yeah. Oh yeah, cemetery is actually pretty stuck now.
Yeah. I have like 11 lightning coils.
The thing that
The-
might be a little interesting to me the most is that every complaint I've heard from both other content creators and players has all been how we interact with them and how we build the trees. No one's complaining about the actual reward. These trees are like super interesting.
Oh,
Yeah.
A lot of them are
amazing.
just raw
Obviously.
power, but a lot of them are also like really interesting and like change things.
There's some really cool builds this league with like
the-
the helm,
yeah.
the helm as well. Because people are
use that?
stacking. Yeah, what they do, Khan, right? Is how the special mods, right? The tier 5 mods usually.
Yeah.
You get that on two-hander or weapon shield, whatever. Like you do a little bit or
Oh,
whatever,
okay.
and the helm, and then
Oh,
you
I see, I
really
see, I see.
invest into that mod, and you have like giga turbo crazy builds. Like
Wait,
I
they
think,
stack?
Yeah.
So there's like a rolling magma, like giga AoE build. There's some forking, blazing Solvo, everywhere build. There's some really cool builds that I want to try this league.
Okay, that makes the helmet way more insane than I thought it was. I didn't think about
I
that.
mean, that's like the only redeeming feature of the league.
Well, I'm pretty sure they stack anyway, if I'm believing Palstrom.
There's something
I
else that I
believe it.
only found out literally today. The most recent patch fixed. It turns out all your poison concoction, hollow palm, people like that, you still got the crucible trees if your weapon was disabled.
Oh.
So if you did, they were just building two-handed
Whoa.
trees and one-handed wands and dodging
Oh.
them on with stats, building full trees on them, and then just disabling them and getting the whole tree. It got fixed.
Oh,
There's a
That
hollow
is-
palm dude who was in my chat who hadn't told me, hadn't said anything, hadn't told anyone, and he was very sad today because his two-handed
So-
tree just stopped
So
working.
they finally do a patch after all this like silence, and they just fucked that one guy.
Yeah,
They should have just left that in.
I think so too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, if I knew that was a thing, hollow palm's back on the menu again, right? Like,
Shit.
Especially when it's not that broken. There are some things that I'm like, yeah, I get that it's a bug fix, like what they did with like Black Zenith and stuff 2 leagues ago, where they
Mhm.
like completely nerfed that into the ground. And it's like, was it really
Yeah.
that harmful if we had that for 1 league? Like, I don't really
that
see the
build
issue
wasn't
here.
even that strong. It looked very fun, but
It
it
was
wasn't
fun.
like overpowered strong.
Yeah, like it's like, for example, the totem explode thing this league, that is
Oh, I-
deeply
no, no,
overpowered, but that's not going to get nerfed because that's intended.
Yeah, that's not a bug though. That's fine.
Yeah, I know.
It's fine to
Yeah.
do 500 million damage. That's no problem with that.
It's not even a billion. It's not even a billion, guys.
Yeah, it's not a billion issue, dude.
Yeah,
I'll watch you do, Bruce.
I saw a cold version of that doing a billion DPS.
Like still
Okay,
kills,
okay. Half a
still
billion,
kills,
sorry.
like still kills Uber Eater at the same speed I kill normal Eater. I'm like, okay, dude.
That's
sounds
actually
good.
really slow. What the heck? I'm
What is
I'm
slow?
poisoned.
No, but I mean, what do you mean?
Nothing. I don't mean
He's
anything.
insulting your build.
Yeah, I think he is. That's why we
He's
should buff
saying
it.
if he killed Uber as slow as you killed normal eater, he would be embarrassed.
Yeah, well, Bunshot needs a buff. That's all I gotta say. Dude. Needs a buff.
True.
Wait, hold on, Bunshot is the same as poison. What do you mean you need to ramp? It's the same thing.
It's not much ramping.
Yeah.
Oh, there
When
is.
When you reach poison cap in the first explosion, there's not really a ramp to it.
Yeah, he has no ramp, so well, okay.
He just right clicks the boss away.
Yeah.
Yeah, auto attack.
Well, I mean that's really no different than the ice trap build that's existed for the last like 4 years, though, right? 4 years,
Yeah,
4 leagues,
but
4 leagues.
My build's like literally immortal though. I'll take that.
Yeah, that's true. The ice trap one is literally like you get breathed on, you die, but really good
I've
for
seen it-
one-shotting Uber bosses, but only if they don't have forced phases. Otherwise, no.
I can't wait for them to add forced phases to all the Ubers because of that thing.
Oh, I had a really cool idea. Surprisingly, a lot of people in chat thought it was interesting too. I think it would be really cool if they had one singular boss that was more like Sanctum inspired, and there was a gear cap that you just can't go above this gear. So it's just always really hard. You can never outgear it. Like there's a cap on how much damage you can do, and there's a cap on how much tank you can get. So it's always nothing. Doesn't matter what you have, really. It doesn't change how hard the boss is.
That's good. That'd be cool, yeah.
That would
I'd
be
be down for
actually
that.
really cool. I
I'd
would
be down for
never
that.
kill it. Yo, I'm Papega.
Like
as
just
fuck.
one
I can't
boss,
do that.
just one singular.
The
That's
only
nice.
Way, the only way I kill anything is out gearing it.
Yeah, that means Seal would not be able to stall. He was gonna reach the cap and then he's gonna start to get in there.
Me stall. You had a mage blood and you died in Dell before attempting one Uber. Me stall.
Hey, listen, I learned from the best, okay?
Okay.
That would actually be fun though. I want that boss now.
Yeah. I think that'd
Also,
be
I
fun.
wouldn't have to answer the question: is this viable? Is this build viable for this boss? All builds are viable. Are you
True.
viable?
Actual skill check.
No.
I think I would enjoy that. I mean, I wouldn't be good at it, but I would enjoy the existence of it.
Yeah, because like I don't know, I just find it a little sad that like all bosses get like very trivialized by gear. It would be cool to have like one where it's like this is just a skill check.
Yeah, Seal's build the last couple builds are perfect examples. He doesn't need to dodge anything, he just kills them instantly, he doesn't even play the game. He just walks in, he's like, alright, takes the loot.
I'm playing a different game. I'm not trying to do mechanics. I'm trying to do POB. All right. I'm winning POB.
Yeah, I remember there's not that long ago that Steel Mage told me whenever he plays Softcore, he doesn't like to die. So I'm wondering what changed.
Oh, the build I'm playing now doesn't die anymore.
Oh, nice. That's good.
Like,
Wait, I
like,
saw you
it's
die to Maven
until-
Slam.
I was testing that to see if it was one of the things I could dodge or not. Like I had to dodge. It was actual limit testing.
Limit testing.
Because I can
What?
survive all 5 of the Maven fireballs.
I mean, that's what you play softcore for, right? I mean, otherwise it would be waste if you
Science.
weren't doing the things
It's
that
not-
you are not doing in hardcore.
Yeah, science.
Yeah. That's the one thing about softcore. You can learn, like, you can limit test everything to all the limits when you play softcore.
I limit test on hardcore. Just,
Yeah, I
know.
Yes,
With
this-
great success,
this could-
finding all the limits.
Yes, this found out he could almost tank the Hunger Slam. Almost.
Oh,
Got close.
oh no.
98th percentile I couldn't tank.
We found the
Oh,
2%.
no.
Yeah, so the thing about the Crucible trees and the expectation, and also about the fractured items that I wanted to weigh in on was like, it certainly depends on your expectation, SSF versus trade, and of course the gear slot for the wait. I'm doing all the things at the same time. What I wanted to say is I expected 2 to 3 decent notables just because we've seen some things and we've seen that outside of the skill specific ones before the league, they were most of them were like just small generic buffs without not that much of a downside. And then they removed all of the downsides, although we couldn't have known that before. I definitely thought it was relatively easy doing like a handful of crucibles on an item to get like 2 or 3 nodes that are good for your build. And I think that's what I expected. But I wanted to backpedal to the fractured thing because I'm not sure. Steel, did you get a chance to weigh in on the fractured versus other item crafting bases? Because you recently made a video about like some guaranteed harvest stuff that you can do and some other great item obtaining mechanics in SSF. What do you think about the fractured items currently?
I totally forgot that you couldn't imprint them. And I was like, oh yeah, when Baylor Mage said it in chat.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's my crafting knowledge right there, boys.
That's been the bane of my existence this league.
I mean, I haven't been able to fracture what I want, so I just haven't had to deal with it. But yeah,
Because
Actually, I
trade
forgot you
league,
couldn't imprint them.
yeah.
well, because trade league, it's pretty common for me because I pick up fracture base. That's one of the best ways to craft most of the things. And I can just pick up a tier 1 fracture base and be like, okay, this is my starting spot. Yeah. You look up a wand for like corrupting fever and you're like, okay, average expected price to craft is 15 divines. How much are the wands? And you're like, oh, they're 40 divines. I'll pick up a fracture base for 1 divine and I'll make it myself. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm just fortunate the builds I've picked were all either lucked into the weapon without needing fracturing, or they were deterministic without fracturing. Like the bow you were talking about earlier, don't need to do any fracturing. So that was just luck. That was honestly just a coincidence. So lucky me.
Yeah, I got this guy in my guild, or like multiple people that I talk to playing in Softcore Trade, and multiple people, like I said, that I talk to have this thing where almost every item that they have on their end game build has 1 fractured mod. They always start from fractured spell suppression or fractured +1 because it makes crafting so much easier. So I think it's a welcome addition to have these crucible trees so that fracturing is not necessarily the best approach for all slots. But it definitely depends on SSF versus trade, because obviously in SSF, getting a desirable fracture it's much harder to obtain. Whereas in trade, everything's readily available.
Unless you're in a hardcore trade.
What? I don't know.
Is that a thing? Are a lot of people playing hardcore trade versus like previously? A lot of hardcore players gravitated either to towards SSF or gave up hardcore.
I think the only way to get people playing in hardcore trade is the very, very few times when a whole bunch of the hardcore people go, okay, we're all playing hardcore trade this league. And then a lot of other people will come and join them for that league. But if that doesn't happen, it's dead. It's a ghost
that
town.
happened this league.
Yeah?
Yeah, this league a lot of people played. Most of the SF people played trade, I think. Like
just not anyone on this podcast.
Yes.
Unfortunately,
I considered migrating. After the 100 push power just to get the build together faster, but I was like, I don't like trade. I just want to play SSF.
Yeah, I think one thing I realized with the Chat SF league, because we had over nearly 6,000 people now in the private league, that is a drop in the bucket compared to Softcore Trade. Softcore Trade is so much bigger than any other group of players playing the game. If you want economy, you kind of have to go to that one league. It doesn't matter if you're playing hardcore or softcore private leagues. If you want that big economy, you have to play Softcore Trade. It just is what it is. It's just so many people.
That's part of what stops me from playing other stuff. Like, I still want to play hardcore again at some point. I still want to do solo self-found things, but a large part of my enjoyment now comes from economy-based things.
Yeah.
I really get a kick out of messing with the economy, and that's the only place for that. There's only one place to do that.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah. And I also feel like when you started solo self-found, then it's really not that easy to migrate to trade. I always feel like trade has that big incentive to start on league start, and then if you start in trade later, you feel like you're missing out because you're not taking advantage of the economy. So if I started in SSF, I'm way less inclined to restart in trade. But if I start in trade, then I can still always do like an SSF run later because it literally doesn't matter when I start SSF. I mean, the great thing obviously is if you start a trade, you already know what you're looking for. You already make some experience.
I also have to imagine with leagues like this, it's significantly harder to engage with them in solo self-found. Because I don't, and I up until 3 days ago, I've been cooking items in every single map. I actually haven't touched it in a map in 3 days, other than when I'm building bases I bought. I just stopped 3 days ago using it. But up until then, every map I was cooking items that I picked up off the floor. And I definitely didn't get nearly enough of decent trees of the things that I was cooking to even make items for myself. It's like, how are you even finding good stuff? Like, how?
Well, that's the thing. You're probably like overestimating what is good, right? Like, because you have access to more. Like, for example, if you get a bow on solo self-found for Toxic Rain that has +1 and the base attack speed with less reduced damage, that's like 6 times better than anything we had last. Like right there, that's just 2 sets. It's very easy to get. I have like 10 of those.
It's true.
Yeah, I got a lot of stuff too. Like I had like, I don't know, like 6 tabs full of axes with trees that I could use for recombining and stuff. But yeah, like I got a lot too.
But hear me out.
A lot of stuff
what if you had a GG node, a keystone, and a nice node, and at the end maybe a build enabling mod on top?
Yeah.
I don't need that much power.
But I want it.
We can do the whole game in blue items. We don't need this much power. Could apply to everything, but it's fun. Power's
Can't
fun,
do the whole
though.
game in blue items on hardcore. At least I can't.
You can totally do it totem, dude.
Probably not on hardcore. But I bet you could do it all on 4 mod items.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I know. It's
We've
just
got-
like
We've got too much power across the board, but that's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Power's fun.
I don't know. That's not like the main fun for me. I just I love like what I love about this league is just dropping something really interesting and be like, I'm gonna do that. Like that's what I did with Wind Ripper. And to be fair, Wind Ripper was dog shit, and I started using a spine bow instead. But I dropped a Wind Ripper and I was like, oh, I'm gonna make a new character.
I wish Wind Ripper had some DPS on it.
Yeah.
Not even like good DPS either. Like a handful of essences can make like a 900 DPS bow. And Wind Ripper's got what, like 200 or something? It's not existent.
It's very little.
If it could just be an okay-ish bow. Like definitely not good, because it's got other things to go with it. If it could just be okay-ish, just like lower than average for a handful of essence crafts, that would be fine. We could figure it out.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the biggest takeaways from the league is just like drop random things, look at these trees when you unveil them, and then get inspired to roll new builds, which is part of the reason that I decided to play in Softcore Trade this league, because it was kind of obvious from the start that it was going to be an experimentation league. I mean, we didn't know for sure that the experimentation aspect was going to be the defining aspect. And there's also some other reasons. Like I recently don't feel like my defs are all that much my fault. I mean, sure, it's easy to shift blame away, but I felt that for the way that I play the game, hardcore has become a less hospitable place, and I was wondering whether that's something that weighed into your decision, Steel, to play softcore with your chat, or is that just for the social aspect?
I played softcore chat SF because chat spammed for like an hour straight. For chat SF.
Bullying works, kids.
Pretty much. Yeah. No, I mean, well, like we've already said, right? The league mechanic is hardcore viable if you just don't juice it too much.
Yeah.
It's just a very fine line, that's all.
Which, by the way, I like. I actually am a fan of the fact that I can juice it so much that it kills me.
You like the I die button?
Yep.
I
I would like a little more if we had finer control over it. But
Yep, I was about to say that. I like the I die button, but there shouldn't be a big difference between 100% and 99%.
Yeah, it should be
it
more
should be
gradual.
a little more linear.
Also, I was like,
I know what he's gonna say.
yeah, like hardcore has never been more accessible than what it is today. Like there are barely any one shots left. Like there's barely any unfair deaths left, to be honest. Like it used to be so rough. There would be like reflect packs, reflect rares, desync. Like I don't know. I feel like hardcore has never been more like forgiving than it is today.
Yeah, it's because defenses are so good right now.
Yeah.
Compared to before. Like before you would before mapping was so much more dangerous than now, even though we have Arc Nemesis now. Like, it was a lot more dangerous. We didn't have armor, we didn't have there's like a lot of things.
Yeah. Like I barely ever have a death that is my fault. I won this thing. I died to a random monster getting DD'd. I couldn't believe it.
It just occurred to me that the I die button should actually be a button. Like you should charge that thing to like 99% and it should just stop and another button should appear. And you'd be like, I want extra juice.
Give me more.
Yeah, give me more. And then if you press the button and you die, your problem.
Actually, see, there's a problem with what you said. Like there's not really many unfair deaths, but there are though. There are, and these are like it's like you said, like the DD thing. Like for example, DD, I don't know why it's still in the game. It makes no sense.
Oh,
it's
I agree. It shouldn't be in the game, but it is still more fair than ever.
It's in the game because it's funny.
Yeah. Yeah, you say it's funny just because I died to that thing, and like that's like the most fuck. That was not cool. It's like literally that was like I don't know if okay. It's like I'm talking about the toxic zero DD death. Right? There was what league was it? Last league? What was last league? Sanctum. Yeah. Yeah, Sanctum. It's like I clear. It's like toxic zero. I kill the boss, clear the entire room, make sure because it was a totem map, so I make sure there's no totems that's gonna DD or anything. There's like nothing, and then I click an altar, and the altar spawns a DD totem. The DD is the boss, and that's hidden behind loot and.
Oh, that's kind of lame. But yeah, at least DD has a wind up now. It's not instant anymore,
and it's still funny.
I can't wait for Steel to go back to hardcore. I can't wait.
This is slow progression. He'll end up in softcore trade in another few months.
No, he's going back to softcore. I'm gonna enjoy it. Yeah, see, like this things like this, for example. It's like, oh, something got deleted somehow that had enough life. You're just dead, one shot.
Yeah, I still can't believe that a white monster had enough life to kill me, but
yeah, like this, I don't understand. It's like I'm okay if it deals damage. Like if it's dangerous, I get it. But if you have a character that has good defenses, you should not die to random DD like this. Like even on uniques, like exiles and bosses getting DD should not do like infinity damage like they do now. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's percentage like life scaling mechanics are just dumb.
Yeah. I mean, they've been a problem since forever. Like DD has always been a problem, whether it's player DD or monster DD, and it's still there. And
you guys say problem, I say funny.
You say funny, yeah. We'll see about that.
Okay, I'm gonna bully you when you die to a disconnect.
Yeah, oh my god. I mean, the problem is
Unrelated.
Related if he's the one that unplugs your internet.
Oh my god.
You don't want to piss off your landlord, dude.
Plug that back in again real quick. Oh no, what happened?
Did I die?
I think high damage or like even one shots are like completely okay if they're in line with how the things are telegraphed. I found some issues for me personally with the Arch Nemesis mod implementation, and the way that the game works didn't really keep up with the pace at which the game is played. So like some Arch Nemesis mods, even though I disagree with them, I don't think Executioner should be in the game. I don't like it personally, but I don't have a big problem with it because it has a very clear visual. Like, or the red ring or the mana siphoner ring is also very, very obvious and gives you good room for counterplay. But then there's stuff like Crystal Skin that I've always never like I've never seen it before I died to it. I've always died to it, and I was like, oh shit, I could have seen that if I hovered every single rare and tiptoed through the map and read the mods. But since they lost the color coding, I just always read over the white. I mean, it's getting better. I'm learning.
You
Right?
hear
Slowly.
it though. It's such a distinct
Yeah,
sound.
you can hear it.
Tink,
Yeah, you
tink,
can hear
tink,
it.
tink, 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 tink.
But see, that's the thing. If you kill the monster in one hit, you don't hear anything. But I guess it doesn't kill you then. So yeah.
I
No, it's
always
per
hear
hit.
that before I die to it.
Also, I don't understand because I've never taken damage from that thing. I don't
Also,
know why
you
it
play
kills
without
everybody.
sound, Baller.
Well, no, I don't. I
What?
turn sound off very rarely in this game, and only when I'm forced to because the content I'm running is so juiced, and the sound engine is the worst sound engine of any game I've ever played. Sound engine causes all of your lag in juice maps. That's why I turn it off when I have to, but I'd normally play with sound on. I
Yeah,
love
I heard
combat
about this.
sounds. They're great.
I think the only well, I wouldn't even call it bullshit, but one of Noogie's deaths this league, he's just wailing for like 10 seconds straight on this breach crystal skin mob, and it's got the visual clutter, right? So he actually couldn't see it. You could read the mod, and he just didn't read it, right? Because of the color coding thing. But he's just wailing on this mob, and the whole clip I'm laughing because obviously he's making a fucking bomb underneath the thing that he doesn't notice. And then obviously he kills the mob. He's like, I did it. Boom.
That's funny.
Yeah, I
I
gotta
did that.
find that, dude. You
From
need to
his point
stall
of
on that
view-
topic until I find the
Yeah.
clip.
Yeah, well, from his point of view, it looked like complete bullshit. And apparently he went like on a 2-hour rant, like, but from my point of view, I'm like, bro, you're just sitting there whacking at this thing for 10 seconds straight. You can see the mod. I mean, but yeah,
No,
I
but
actually
okay.
100% on the color coding thing, though. I missed the
Yeah,
color
that-
coding.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
why we went through the Alchemy system when it came to the naming. All that stuff was like perfect. It was like, he had a name, he had a specific color. You could hover over the monster for like a split second, you would know what you're fighting. But now you have to read a fucking essay that tells you like, yeah, it does this damage. Like no, like one word. Why fucking? I mean, it's like Expedition. You have Expedition remnants on your monsters now. Like,
See,
no.
I agree, and I loved Arch Nemesis, and I was so excited for it to go core, because what I thought they were gonna do was I thought they were gonna have the normal rares that we just kind of like whatever we just mow down, give us his headhunter buffs, etc.
Mhm.
And then we were gonna meet like an Arch Nemesis every like 3, every 5 maps, etc. And that would be full powered Arch Nemesis, but it would also give all the loot that it like used to do.
Yeah, I was expecting
Oh,
something.
that
like
would have
this,
been
to be honest.
cool.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
I
it
was
would've
like.
been really
I was so
cool.
confused. I was like, wait, why didn't they do that? Why is this
Yeah,
hell?
I remember you'd fight an actual Arch Nemesis and it drops you 2 Wisdom Scrolls. You're like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Look at him wailing
Oh,
on
there
it.
it is. Look at me.
It is hilarious.
Boom.
Yeah, it's
His face.
That's so good.
Noogie's like, what? What killed me? What?
Oh, watch this here.
Huh?
It's
yeah,
especially good
it's
because we
great
can see
entertainment.
it.
Well, I mean, you can't really
He's-
see it.
He's even
You can see
actually
it.
got his mouse over the mob for like so long too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I think he didn't know about it back then. He
No,
was,
he
he was
had no
just getting
idea.
back into PoE. It's like his skill is the same color as the crystals. You can't see them.
It's a little unfortunate.
No, also
Yeah,
with the
it's-
delirium fog or the breach fog. What
no,
is
look
it?
at
Is
it,
it
it's-
the breach?
it's
It's the
shooting-
breach original effect, right? Yeah, not delirium.
His thing's purple.
Yeah,
Look,
his
that's him.
ability is purple.
Yeah.
So you can't
True.
see anything. Like you can't see it. You can't see it at all. You have to read the mod.
No. You had to read
You
the
have to read-
mod, yeah.
You have
But
to
you
read the
can
mod or
see-
hear it.
He's like juicing it up so much though for so long.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely treats hard hitting builds a lot different than like a lot hitting than hard hitting. I also noticed I'm
Yeah.
playing a guardian with animate weapon. Obviously the weapons hit a lot more, right? They spawn the entire room is full of crystals, right? It's really hard at this point to not see the visuals. But then at the same time, they don't spawn under the weapon that hits, but it actually spawns under the summoner.
Oh,
Can someone confirm that, or am I just going
I
crazy?
have no idea.
No idea.
I'm pretty sure they spawn under my character rather than under the weapon
Yeah.
that actually hits.
I think it
Across.
does it on totems too. Like you totem hits and it spawns on you, if I remember. I'm not sure because I don't notice.
I
like,
miss
interact with this.
volatiles.
You
The
miss
cold ones.
volatiles?
You miss
Missed the-
volatiles?
the
Yeah,
old-
like the
I missed
last
it.
iteration of volatiles, like the ball
ball.
that follows you. I was like, man,
I
that is
missed
a
the
great.
sound.
Like they'd
But you
finally
should-
perfected volatiles and then they removed it. I'm like,
I missed
okay.
the original version that like basically made melee unplayable.
That was my
No.
first death. That was my first death
Wow.
in PoE was volatiles.
Wow.
It was the first time I played. I entered mines in Act 4, and then this monster. I killed this monster and I died, and I was like, "What?" I was so
Yeah,
confused.
no, I hated instant volatiles.
I feel like missing instant
funny.
volatiles is like missing that one random mob that had 100% reflect and just killed you instantly. Like
Well,
that's a really weird thing to miss.
You know what? No. Hot take, spicy take. Reflect is why Reflect being gone is why we have this like ZHP dog shit meta in SC. Not nowadays. I think nowadays people have warmed up to defense because they've made it so accessible. But you know that brief period in PoE history where everyone was running around with 3k HP, no defense, and just chain dying with custom death portal? That was because of the removal of Reflect. And I thought that was awful meta. I'm glad now they've made defense accessible enough that everyone does the spell suppression, determination, grace, or not all of them, but like a combination.
Yep.
So it's better now, but that you know what I'm talking about, right?
Most of my softcore builds now have 2 or 3 layers of defense on them.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
I don't die every map anymore. Well, this character I'm playing right now does, but I'm getting rid of that because I'm sick of it. I die too much. Like I played for
Dying
3
sucks,
days dying
right?
like every map and was like, no,
Yeah.
I'm done. Yeah, out of here.
dying sucks, man.
This build's over.
Yeah. It took a long
Actually,
time for them. You go, Khan.
No, since we're speaking of Arc Nemesis, reminds me like because remember when they changed Arc Nemesis, they also it was like stuff like what was it, Magma Bearer, the thing that did like a million things, like it exploded and threw balls at you. Was it Magma Bearer? Anyway, I think you guys know what I'm talking about. It had Molten Shell and it had like the balls, firing balls at you and stuff. Like this type of stuff, for example, this type of Arc Nemesis mod, like I had nothing against. Like I was like fine. Like, it just makes you play the game. You have to dodge it, whatever. You have to play around it. But then there's stuff like cycling damage, which by the way is not cycling at all. It's like you hit it with the damage type, and then it's immune to that damage for like 10 seconds. I don't know. Like
You know
these
how
type of things, I
works,
don't know what
right?
they're in. Huh?
The cycling damage resistance is the exact opposite of what it says. It has resistance to everything except one thing at a time, and it cycles the one kind of damage it can take damage from.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Oh.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's how it works. Yeah.
Like you would
Well,
read
it should be
and
called
think
cycling
that it's-
damage window.
Yeah, like you would read it and think it's immune to one
To
thing
one
at
thing,
a time, right? And
Yeah, but
rotating
it's-
around, but it's not. It's immune to everything except one damage type, and it cycles that, which is bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what. Yeah, I don't know if it's resist. I don't know if stuff like okay, no, because otherwise Elemental B wouldn't have no problem with that.
My Trinity builds can usually kill it because you've got 3 out of the
No, I
5
mean,
damage.
if you play an Elemental build with Dual Curse, if it was just resistances, it would be fine. It would not make a difference.
It's not resistance.
Yeah, it's actually just straight up immunity.
Yeah, it's awful.
Yeah,
Same
because
with
I know
like-
like.
Some of those things like chaos and wither resistant, it's like literal hell.
Yeah, it's like double dip on like double tank mods, destroy everything
Yeah.
about the field. Yeah, I don't know. Like I'm okay. I was okay with like old Magma Bear, for example, and stuff like this. But like I'm not okay with these. These are just lame.
Alright.
It's like monster is invulnerable. Good luck.
You know what rare mob that I should hate, but I actually love and hope never goes away? Flees and casts Ice Wall.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
hilarious,
I
though.
You're
should hate it.
cancelled.
I should hate it, but it's so funny.
That's the
I mean,
single
okay.
worst thing I've heard a streamer say on a stream.
It's so fun. I chased one around half an entire map.
Why would you do that?
Because it's hilarious.
Oh, if I see him run,
away.
if I see him run, I'm like, all right, goodbye. See, have a good one, dude. Like,
Yeah.
You just let it go. He's just like, that one's gone. That's a runner. He gets tell your friends what happened here. Bye.
That
I
thing
think
is like get a Waka Waka boss in every map now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think I've
Proxy
committed to a
shield.
couple. Oh no.
I hate it.
I should hate it. I know why it's bad, And if I had to decide whether to remove it or not, I would remove it. But I personally love it because of how funny it is. Like, I find it hilarious.
Is it acceptable in your mind to skip a rare monster because you don't like the combination of mods, or are you like a completionist? You want to kill everything in the map?
I want to kill everything in the map, but they don't give us a choice. So
I'll skip mobs because I don't feel like walking back over to that corner again. Yeah, you can skip anything you want.
I've actually
But rare
started
monsters
doing that this
specifically.
thing. I've been calling it steel maging. Sometimes there's a really like rare monster. I'm like, nah, you own this map now. This is yours.
You can keep
Yeah,
it.
I do that. It's called playing smart, risk assessment.
Yeah,
risk assessment, huh? Okay.
it's new to me.
Mhm.
Risk I see.
Yeah, so like for example, Khan, if you had like an altar respawn a DD totem, you could leave.
See, there's a thing. It was not respawning the thing. I literally, that's a mechanic that nobody knew about until I died to it. So yeah, just saying. Yeah, this was not a thing before that patch. I only died. Oh, okay. I only died to things that did not happen before. Like if I die, it's a new thing.
That's true. You have very memorable deaths. My favorite one is the chain hook worm thing. That like will never not be funny.
Wait,
I
I
like
need a
the
link
one
for
where-
that. Can I show that?
Yeah. I also like the one where he's playing a champion on a.
Oh no! Don't! He's gonna go. Oh my god! He's gonna do this shit again.
He forgets he's not immune to reflect.
I did not forget. Oh my god! I never forgot.
And so he just bonks himself. He just one shots himself to the mirror, and he's like, "Oh, I'm not a slayer." Huh?
Oh my god! This is like.
It's exactly how it went. It's exactly how it went.
This is how it is in Steel Mage's head.
He was playing a champion, and he thought he was a slayer. All right, that's exactly how it went down.
I was playing a champion. I knew I was a champion. I just forgot to click one thing.
Yeah, you forgot to click the slayer tendency.
Well, that's what. That was the first mistake. Was playing champ. That is not wrong. That is not wrong.
Shit. No way, dude.
I can't wait for Steel Mage to get back to hardcore. I'm gonna savor this.
Do people just watch me play hardcore to watch me fail? Is that what's happening?
Well,
yeah, because I want to laugh at your death.
You don't really die a lot when you play hardcore.
See, so people just like the edge.
Yeah, but when he does,
this is the time. This is the league. He's gonna die.
Yeah, when he does, though. Oh.
The last time he died, though, was one of the dumbest deaths I've ever seen in hardcore. It was so funny. I lost all my channel points.
I don't talk about it.
Wait, what was it?
It was the eater one where he just like stayed in for like 4 years.
Oh no, I remember that one. Oh no. Oh.
And I'm like, I'm watching him. I'm like, Log, what are you doing? What are you doing? I was like, oh
the greatest. No. That was the greatest shock of the century.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
Oh my god.
Oh,
that was. And then he did this thing where he would get something. You know, like what happened? Why?
Why me?
I'm
That was very funny. Yeah, you were sad. Oh, you don't say. You don't say, huh?
When I'm sad, it's emotional. When you're sad, it's funny. All right, it's different.
Or is it now? I'll remember this next when you get back to hardcore. He's never gonna get back to hardcore now. He's just gonna stay. He's gonna stay in softcore.
Stay in softcore.
We've lost BEL because of Australian internet. I feel that. I understand.
Yeah, I looked
I
at
lost all internet.
back Valor's. I thought you just get up and left. No one left.
Yeah, I basically saved Steel Mage by importing him to the UK. He used to have so many deaths, and they were not his fault.
Yeah, I remember one death. I was just watching my character die. I couldn't do anything. Not related to internet though. It's because my keyboard died.
Oh.
Oh no, that's like. Oh, that's oh no.
I was in a breach. I was praying it closed, and it didn't close.
Did you turn off your PC instantly or something?
I did. I ripped out the thing, but I knew I was gonna die. Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah. This is one that league though.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Yeah, I won that.
That was good.
Well, the The reason I brought up skipping rare monsters is because of the removal of loot goblins, but there's still the little bit of fear of missing out when you skip a rare monster, because they could drop something really good based on the loot modifiers that are hidden. So, how do you feel about the original implementation? Do you think it was good that it went away? And well, how do you think about the state now? Little bit of a loaded question, 3 in 1, but
I mean, I love the new ones. I love the rares feel really rewarding now. I love the implementation of the gem reward XP thing. I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
I think they should make all the like god touched ones really, really exciting. I think they're very rare. They should always be exciting, and they should always be unaffected by quantity at all. From like party or MF, it should only be affected by your map quantity. It's the only change I would make.
I'm actually sad about the gem reward, the gem XP reward that got changed, because on League Start, it gave character XP too. I remember because I remember killing one rare on League Start. I killed one rare in the mines, and he gave me. I leveled up, and I look at my XP bar. It's like 80% full. I was like, what just happened? And that's because like you actually got a bonus XP on your character too from that mob, like a huge one. And I'm kind of sad this. And as soon as I saw that, I started killing every single rare. I saw a rare, I was killing every single one of them. Like I've never been like this over leveled on the League Start where they change all the rare stuff, the rare monster stuff. And even now, like I think like it's kind of nice that it's kind of cool that like every monster can drop like cool stuff. But it's like usually whenever a monster is like really tanky, like it takes longer than others, I'm like, oh, this guy might drop something. You know,
Yeah,
it might drop a bunch of fractured items or
Yeah,
so I'm like, I try to kill them.
Fractured and Six Things is actually makes tier 16s feel really, really valuable. Like there's like a reason to farm low maps now, and there's a reason to farm tier 16s now, and you feel like you're kind of missing out on either. So it's pretty useful, at least on like Hard Crest SF. Like both are like very clear benefits.
Yeah.
Steel,
Yeah,
you got a
nothing about
nuanced take on that?
Well, I mean, I could play devil's advocate and say that what they've essentially done, because I think a lot of the drops are somewhat unaffected by Magic Find, which is why Empyrean is saying the state of group play was quite weak compared to before, which is why he did 5-way farming, because 5-way farming, it's about the XP service than it is about doing giga juiced up content and getting massive explosions of loot. So they've kind of lost a little bit there. But I think most people prefer the solo gameplay and the game balanced around solo gameplay more anyway. It's not like group play is bad, right? You still get aura bots and all that. So yeah.
Yeah, the build synergy is crazy.
Uh-huh.
I had this
It's not
one
really
rare
that much of
early
a
on.
group game anyway.
No.
It does have a big social aspect to it. Like Chris always says, the value of an item that you have but your friends don't have. But like as far as like actually playing in a group, sometimes, right? Like for me, it's like 20% of times maybe, even when I'm in softcore trade.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of multiplayer without actually playing in a party. So
Yeah.
It's fine if it's balanced around solo gameplay.
Yeah, like Chat SF was, or sorry, Bro SF was like super fun.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, we didn't even when we were in the middle of the loot goblin shit. Wait, was that loot goblin? Was that loot goblins last league? No. Damn. Well, that's a good thing though, because otherwise we would have had to be some weird cringe like Cull Magic Find shit. So that's good.
I'm kind of sad that the God Touch monsters don't have. They're not like guaranteed to drop good stuff. Like sometimes you kill one and it drops nothing. I'm like, eh.
Yeah.
It's like I feel like they should always have like
one-shot you.
something. Yeah, like I think they should always have like something.
Yep.
Like one of the good rewards. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be like okay, drop a bunch of divines. It could be currency, could be sockets, could be links, could be fractured items. I don't know, like anything. Because it feels really bad. Like you're like, oh, a big God Touch monster, and you kill it and it drops like nothing.
Yeah, there's actually a memory, a shrine memory, and it spawns a God Touch mob at every shrine. But and because of what you were saying, Khan, it's like super unrewarding.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, I killed this God Touch mob and nothing happened. Sometimes something happens, it's like mixed.
Yeah, but it's like the same as killing any other rare monster. They said, no, okay, I think they said it's more likely, but it's okay.
It's more likely, yeah.
But even then.
I miss old more likely from Harvest.
Yeah, the new. I still to this day I am still coping on more likely on every item I try to make that could use it, and I still have not hit anything since the change. Not a single time did it do anything. Not one item. And I play a lot, and I make a lot of items, and I've not hit a single one with it. So I don't know. Something needs to be done. So this is just minus 200 every time.
Yep.
Yeah, I really agree on the God Touch thing. They look so impactful. They have this epic lore connection with the god and all that. You have these visuals on the screen. They're really also dangerous, especially the Solaris one with the sun grid spike thing, and they should also like always hold something special for the player.
Yep.
I had this out of curiosity. Has anyone ever gotten a talisman with a fractured item? And is that common from Metamorphs? I got it from a Metamorph, and it's just obviously it's useless outside of Tainted Chaos, maybe. But
so that didn't exist lastly because so I don't know how common it is because I don't look at talismans, but it like if you talismaned an item with a fractured stat lastly, it would just remove the fracture basically and make it a normal stat.
all right. Okay, but I think it works the other way around because the talisman rewards are guaranteed by the Metamorph reward tile or the Metamorph organ, and then the rare monster mod on the Metamorph turns it all into fractured items.
Yeah, they changed it this league.
They changed it. So if I were to take a fractured item into the bench now, it would also retain the fractured mod?
Yeah. Well, it would always
Okay,
retain the fractured mod, but like before it would
not as fractured. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, but then it's not as special as I thought it was. I thought it was a nice curiosity, memorabilia to have to take into standard. But then we'll see a lot more of those. Were there any more Arch Nemesis complaints you guys wanted to bring up, or are we going to move on into some other areas of the current game loop?
Nah, cycling needs to go. That's it.
Yeah.
I actually don't mind cycling that much, but then again, maybe I'm just pain tolerant in some areas and a lot more whiny in others, where you guys don't see problems.
It's especially bad for Slayer because you lose leech. You can't leech off of these guys, so you eventually lose leech, especially on Bullshadow. Then you just yeah. So usually I see a guy that's cycling, I just leave because I have to go leech on something else, and then I come back and it's still cycling. So I go back and I get to hit something else, and I come back again and it's still cycling, and I'm like, all right, so I'm out. So.
Right, so moving on to item acquisition, which seems to be a big point for people ever since Harvest got removed or put into its current state. For one league, we had Recombinators, which did alleviate a lot of the pressure and make people feel that we got a good way to progress our items. What do you feel about rare item progression right now on your character? Do you think it's in a good spot, or do you think it needs some help? I mean, we also have tons of tools like Harvest, fossils, essences, and more every league. It seems like I've never seen so many essences like this league, personally.
This one is a big one, huh?
I mean, I can go first. So I have a few problems with item progression at the moment, and obviously this is very like hardcore SSF because I don't know if this is a problem at all on Softcore Trade. Still probably can know, but like I hate the fact that Expedition is just like default the way to get bases early, and it doesn't even matter what map you've been in. I can literally sit in tier 5 maps and then suddenly I have item level 86 bases, so that like skews the progression massively there. And then I do think Harvest is finally in a good spot. I'm very happy with where Harvest is, but we need Recombinators back in because I think Harvest and like Ritual and stuff like that, the problem I had with it wasn't necessarily the power that it gave. It was more the fact that it like eliminated every other mechanic from being relevant, right? It was just like, well, of course you're going to craft everything with Harvest. It's way better than anything else. Whereas Recombinators, it felt like it was like it buffed the rest of the game. Like it made fossils useful, it made everything useful, and just Recombinators are our Lord and Savior. I worship Recombinators.
Yeah, I mean they made so many mechanics useful. Like everything, you would do Alva, you would delve, like things that we would not do before Recombinators, because this type of content was like kind of, it was like not worth your time. But like you would delve for like delve mods that you could recombine to items, or you would do temple to get temple mods on your items. Like all these things are like really cool, and like I don't know. That's why I was hoping like Recombinators would stay in some way, or like come back. Hopefully they come back, but yeah. Aside from that, yeah, like for the progression, like I feel like I enter maps with items, and I barely change them until tier 16. So it's like I enter maps, I have the same gear for the most part. Maybe I pick up a couple rares here and there, until and then I'm on tier 16, and it's like okay, I have the same items, and the only way to get items is to do expedition again, or get like a billion essences. Like all the paths to like get your gear progressed take way too much time. It's like there's no real progress. It's like you go from nothing to everything basically, because you go from like items you enter maps with to the items, basically your final, items you're gonna use for, I don't know, like until you wanna like really min-max your character. Like you're gonna have your endgame items. Like there's no in between, because you need to do expedition, we need to do essences, and it's pretty much the same thing for every build. You wanna get gear, just do expedition essence, and that's it. And there's not really any option. Like you have to do expedition. Because otherwise, yeah, like you said, there's bases, and even if you don't need bases, it's still the best way to make suppression gear, for example. So, and everybody needs suppression, so you don't really have a choice.
Yeah, well, for me, I have lots to say. So, for starters, I prefer determinism. I didn't like how much determinism we had in Harvest, but I liked how much determinism we had in Sentinel. So I like the fact that Recombinators allowed you to create unique pieces of gear, rare, but different, because you could do crazy things. If you got rare bases, you can combine rare bases and make some crazy cool item that is kind of hard to copy. So I like that part of it. But then I also like the fact that we had access to keep suffix, keep prefix, because it allowed you to deterministically approach an item step by step. Because the way I like to craft an item, right, is I like to approach either the prefixes or the suffixes first, and then finish off the, vice versa, whichever one I don't account for. Because currently you can do this with Eldritch currency, but that doesn't apply to all bases. And so what ends up happening, right? Let's say you have a ring, and you veiled chaos, suffixes cannot be changed to try to get the life roll on, and you fill the prefixes. Your item is just it's bricked. You have to risk annulling it to fix it. And I hate that. They like annuls too much as well. Because I think their solution is annuls. I think they like annuls a little bit too much. It doesn't feel good when this outcome happens. It's not like
Yeah, go ahead. No, because it happened to me in Gauntlet. The exact same scenario described happened to me in Gauntlet. The exact same. I had the ring, insane. No, tier 1 suppression, tier 1 chaos res. I veiled a hybrid chaos suffix in, but it failed on my prefixes. It hit tier 1 life, but it filled my prefixes, and I need the free prefixes.
The mana
yeah,
cost
I need mana cost. So it was like, do I take the 50-50? Well, actually, it was like even worse than this. Do I annul and maybe break my item, and then I have to go again when it's like, and I was like, okay, I can't do anything with this. There's no way I'm clicking an annul on this, because like you said, Eldritch annul don't exist on my PC gear. Also, they're rare. Like Eldritch Chaos, Eldritch, all these things they're not available. You don't get enough of them to be able to make items. So I think we talked about it before, but like I feel like the solution is either make Eldritch currency a lot more common, give more like your more keep prefix, keep suffix back, or get old Ashling back. Because with all more divines, it's like one of these.
Bless
I think.
Thanks.
Yep.
I think these are like one of the things that need to be done to make crafting feel less like they have more control over how you make your items and less throwing the dice.
Yeah, go on.
I just quickly wanted to give Ballermage the opportunity to jump in and
does
be
it
here
work?
on his dodgy phone connection. It looks
Oh
perfect.
shit.
Does it work? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Glorious.
All right. I'm connected through a mobile phone. This is fine, right?
this is fine.
Quality
Welcome to
broadcast now.
Australia, by the way. Internet's just completely gone. Oh well.
Yeah, but in order to get you in, I just interrupted Steel, so please, Steel, elaborate on your thoughts.
Nah, I've lost everything now. It's not my fault if I don't have any intelligent thoughts. They're all gone now. It's not my fault.
Well, we're talking about determinism versus...
No, don't remind me. No. I was going to say some crazy intelligent stuff, but it's all gone now. You're just going to have to take my word for it.
Yeah, GG.
Well,
There's for everything.
True. Bally, you didn't have the chance to chime in on any of the topics. Do you have strong feelings or opinions that you feel you don't want to miss out on a chance to utter them?
I don't know what you're talking about. I've already forgotten about everything that happened in the last 20 minutes.
You were just so busy with your internet.
I was too busy trying to get everything working. Or anything working.
Well, the topic at hand was rare item acquisition and then crafting upgrades, the item progression, and in what kind of a place we are after harvest, pre-nerf, and after recombinators.
Now I remember.
Can you still make your basic boots?
Ziz mentioned the ways that he upgrades in Solo Self-Found, and that's it, and that he wants a bit different in trade. And literally the only difference is you either buy it or you do exactly that.
Yeah.
Those are the only ways to get out. You're either buying them or you're doing exactly the same thing. I'm rug crafting or I'm essence spamming on fractured bases, but that's it.
I really enjoy rug crafting, actually.
Oh my god. I can't look at an expedition anymore. Like,
I hate doing expedition.
I am so tired of expedition. It's been how many years now? I don't know. Like we're gonna
3.
It's like every map, reading a book every map, and if the expeditions were like pre-planted, they would not be as bad. But like every map having to read the thing, or like even if you do it the way I ended up doing it, which is I just get here, I just click the first thing I see that looks okay, and I just place it, and then eventually I'm like, oh, I just missed a remnant, logbook remnants at the end. I just have to do it all over again, and it's like every map of this, I just. This league, I think I had expedition day 1 to get my first set of gear, and then I unexpected it. I don't want to see it again. I am done.
That's pretty awful.
Yeah, I can't look at expedition anymore. I see Tujin in my maps. I'm barfing. Like I can't.
The interesting bit of that is that really high end crafting is actually interesting and in a decent place, like with Ashling slams and veiled chaos orbs and prefixes can't be changed and cannot roll attacks and all of those things. Those all get used, but only when you're making 20, 30, 40 div items. Like when they're really good items at really expensive values, there's tons of deterministic crafting methods that I can use to recreate those things over and over again. Which means the really, really disgustingly powerful expensive items, I can print the same thing every single league over and over again with determination. But I can't make average gear on a league start to improve my character incrementally, which is completely backwards and bonkers to me. Like it should be easy to craft small upgrades and hard to make that disgusting gear that I make. Not the other way around.
Yeah, that's what I was mentioning.
Don't you think there's like plenty of methods to make mid-tier items, as in like fractured plus essence, or the stuff that Steel Mage talks about it in this crafting video, like the harvest spamming, cast speed on rings, or chaos resist?
Yeah,
I mean fracture is not mid-tier anymore. Fracture is endgame crafting.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
Yeah,
it certainly is an SSF.
Yeah. I think Baylor has a bit of a warped take on what average items are.
That's probably true.
I agree though. Like that's what I was saying. I was saying that there's no like when you progress, it's very difficult to make mid-game upgrades because it's like you will find an item with like life and a res, maybe 2, and it's like you're not gonna change that item until you get an item that has suppression double res life. You're not gonna change that thing.
That's more to do with spell suppression being what a dog.
Yeah. That's because of spell suppression. Well, spell depression.
What a dog shit is.
Spell depression.
Yeah, it is the entire problem with spell depression.
The problem is, to paraphrase, is that you feel like you have to have it on every character?
No, you don't. It's not that you feel you have to. You have to. It's not a feeling. It's not an opinion. You have to. Like they've rebalanced the game around suppression existing. If you don't have suppression, you get 2 shot by white scaly mage.
These
White
scaly
scaly mage
mages
is
are
GPL.
insane.
Like
Dude,
if
yeah, I
you
got
don't
one
have spell
projectile.
suppression, yeah, one
Yeah.
projectile will like chunk you for like half your HP if you don't have suppression. You don't have a choice. You need
80%.
suppression. Well, yeah. I'm just being generous.
Nah, I mean,
being
to be fair, that what I'm referencing was an uber lapse for belt and chance. But I literally got clipped by one projectile and it was down to 20% or so.
Yeah.
And I was like,
So
what
it's-
if 2 projectiles hit me?
Yeah, that's my problem with suppression. It's not optional because they assume that you will have it. That the game is balanced around it now. So it's like it's a defense that you have to have, and
Yeah.
not every character can get it in any reasonable amount of investment. Like it's so if you rise out of the tree, it's fine. You can click a bunch of suppression, and if you use a shield also, it's a lot easier, which is obviously most builds. But yeah, it's very. I don't like that it's mandatory. It's like a new defense they added. That's just mandatory, and they rebalance the game around. But the access is
Yep.
very out there.
I feel like it changed after they changed flasks, because back in the day, it would be if you had a quartz, a jade, and a granite flask, you didn't even need a defensive aura for mapping. And mapping was quite like forgiving. As long as you had those 3 things, you were probably not going to die in the highest tier of maps. And then they changed it, and now that flasks are so low, it basically feels you need suppression, determination, grace, a quartz. Ideally, 1 defensive flask on top of that, and then you can map, and then you have to figure out different defenses for bosses. Whereas before, you had a lot more choice because there were so many different things you could do for bosses.
Yep.
The alternatives on the left side for suppression, where I mean, I found it really weird that
It's a
on
meme.
a side note that they changed after suppression was already kind of a needed stat on many people, but then they changed and shifted the balance from the items on suppression to the tree, so that the stuff that you get on the tree is more, and the suppression values on gear are lower now,
Yep.
which just makes the issue worse for the left side tree. But you,
Which
you really
would
think
maybe
the
have
left
been
side
okay.
tree- Yeah.
But you're stuck in one corner. That's the only place to get suppression. It's just down there. Just go down there.
But getting max res and spell block does not match up to suppression.
I mean, not
your
at all.
eyes.
Like you need to have the same effect as suppression. You need like 13 max res. Like you don't get 13 max res.
88?
Easily.
Yeah, 88 max res.
It's like
If
a
you can get to that.
12.5. 12.5 is exact, but yeah. Like you don't get that much on the tree. You get you can get 4, 5. You get 5. You get 5. Yeah, about 5.
Yeah.
Now
And it's
that's
weird.
like not even.
Because like the majority of the players play softcore, and they are obviously balancing more around softcore now than what they used to do. And I think having OP defenses in the game is really, really good, because obviously right now defense isn't in like the worst spot right now either, because obviously people are building around it on softcore. But I think like when you feel like very, very incentivized to build around defense a lot, and that feels good, that's like the game done right. Because and I would argue to a new player, it's always going to look better to have somebody face tank a boss and be like, oh, wow, this looks really easy. Can you explain? And it's like, oh, yeah, I've just like perfected my defenses for this one boss. It basically can't kill me unless I fuck up. I think that looks better than watching somebody like do the ice trap thing and just like boss dead.
Yeah,
Next.
yeah.
Yep.
That's pretty. Yeah. Yeah, what Steel does, for example, is a lot more cool. It's a lot cooler. So you're just sitting there, just one face tank and everything. That's cool. Just one shotting. Oh, he's also. I think he's not one shotting. It's like almost one shotting the boss. Not quite. So it's okay. Like you can see the boss do one ability. Like okay. So it's like he's on the line, on the the border of ethics.
What they're talking about, Baylor, is the Ruthless race.
Oh no, I knew. I just,
That's toxic.
what race? Like, who cares?
Yeah, Sarge died.
Yeah, so there was one bloke who was going for it. He had all the pieces of the puzzle: grace, determination, defiance, spanner, purity, diadem, totem, explode mod, insane chest for jug, all the pieces, and he died to what Ziz died to the other league. He rocks.
Well, he specifically
Oh.
died to charges that we have no fucking idea what does.
Yeah, actually,
No,
BEL,
no.
do you know what they
doesn't matter,
do?
he died.
What do I didn't see it?
Okay, so you know how Drox has purple charges? Do you know what the purple charges do?
No one
No.
does.
No.
Most people
I
don't
have
even know he has
absolutely
purple
no idea.
charges.
Did you even know he had purple charges that make him do more damage?
Yeah, but I don't know what they do.
Yeah, neither.
I was aware that they existed.
Yeah.
I've seen them.
Wait, don't they
I
make him
didn't.
more tanky, or was that? Huh? I don't.
They definitely make him do more damage, that's for sure.
His auto
So-
attack with no damage mods hit me for 6k.
Still knows something about Drox. Doing more damage. Was it actually bugged that the rip against other slayers?
My bug? Oh yeah. That they patched
Was it
it.
bug? That's so weird because I think I remember doing the other slayers like around the same time and maybe even before you. I don't remember. I think it was before you even.
Yeah, I did it,
go ahead.
but I almost died. I almost died to the same thing. Still died too.
No,
Yeah,
I
because
more
it took
damage
one
from it.
fist. I took 4.
Yeah,
4 was too
I almost
many.
died from one.
Like one fist did like 400 damage to me when I did it.
It was probably fixed already then. Because the small fist was
Hit me for
hitting
6K?
harder. Yeah, it was
No,
hitting
it was before
harder
the
than-
fix. It was before
Well,
the
the-
fix.
No, you're copying then. Because the small
No,
fist
no, no, no.
was hitting. My character had 90% fistia. So it
Against
was
what?
hitting
Against what?
everything.
Oh, it was like a flat DR. I mean, a percent.
It was-
Like, no.
Yeah, it was an
no,
Aegis
nothing.
character, so I was like giga
Yeah.
stacking
Okay. I don't know, man.
with endurance charges and fistia and everything. Yeah.
Karn just sitting there, skill issue.
Can't
That
cope with.
was before the fix. I remember showing it to him because he died, and I had the clip already ready. I had the Elder Slayer video already there.
You probably
I
took a
remember
big
showing it
fist,
to him.
not a small fist.
Nah, I think it was small. I
The,
don't.
the big fists were hitting much less than the small fists.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure it was a small.
Cope.
Well,
Cope.
Slayer difference. What can I say?
Yeah,
Slayer
see?
diff.
Cope.
But anyway, that ruthless rip. I mean, it was on him to be honest. Like he was AoE and he didn't respect the slam. That's all.
Yeah. Mhm.
Well,
It's
When are
gonna
you
be
logging in
interesting if
Ruthless?
someone else will finish it.
I'll do it. I think after Exalt is done. I mean, I'm gonna give it 2. I'm gonna give it 2
Okay.
to 3 weeks. I'm gonna give it 2 weeks. I'm just gonna
You won't.
blast through it and just. What?
You'll be playing D4 season 1.
Yeah.
Wait, okay. We have a month. Exalt qualifies like in May. Oh wait, it's in June, right? Oh shit, you're right. Never mind. Well, I mean, it's okay if I qualify on the first one. It's all good.
I thought you meant after actual ExileCon, but after ExileCon
No.
qualifiers, there's plenty
The
of time.
qualifiers.
Yeah.
The qualifiers. The qualifiers are gonna be during May.
The new league after ExileCon is like 1 week after it, right? Relatively
Yeah,
directly.
I know it's a week, but they did tell us all, hey, make
Yeah,
sure
go
you go home. Like, go home.
Yeah.
If you want to hang
You're
out
gonna
in New
wanna play
Zealand,
this.
come early and then go home. So it must be pretty quickly after.
So we touched a little bit upon it with the crafting meta. What this links to is the re-evaluation of the Divine and Exalt swap that they did. What was it, Lake of Calandra or before that? I think it was Lake of Calandra 319.
Yeah. I think
Have you
so,
guys
yeah.
all
That league.
adjusted well to it by now?
No. God no. I don't even mind it. I don't even mind the change that much. Just that we don't have ways to farm divines. That's it. I don't care what they do with the currency. I don't care what they do with the systems currency in the game as long as there are there's like paths we can take towards getting that thing. Because right now there's no path. It's like before you wanted to multi-mod an item, you just farm exalt shards. You have a path. Farm harbies, you'll get shards and you get divine, you get exalts and you can multi-mod your thing. Now it's like you need divines, well, you just kill monsters and hope they drop on the ground. Or it's usually just do blight, but I mean.
Well,
I
there
don't
is
know,
one
this
more
is-
thing. There is one more thing they did this league. Like Ziz, you're one of your dev cards was used to make the 5 divine card now, right?
Brother's Gift, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's
well,
that's one of the big things we lost, right? There was no divine cards because everyone makes Exalt
Yeah.
cards. So
Yeah, but I mean, even the divine cards, they kind of like, for example, Divine Beauty. I farmed Underground Sea all league last league. I got like 6
Yeah.
7 cards, I think. It's like instead of 12, and then I gambled and I lost. So I was like, all right, cool. So
well,
like,
people are farming Brother's Gift though. Like that seems to
Yeah.
there's a lot of
I mean, I've
cemetery
gotten
farms.
one. I've gotten one, but I think I got lucky. It's like if I didn't get lucky, then I would still not have a Brother's Gift. I would still be like, it's like most of my divines I got was like 1 Brother's Gift and 1 divine altar. And the divine altar was not even that good. It was only 6. So it's like I got 11, and then maybe I
I
dropped
got
like
5
5
from my
6.
Divine Altar.
Yeah. So it's
That's
like
a lot of
basically you need to hit the jackpot or you don't get any. That's my problem. Like I don't want to. It's not something that you can be like, okay, I'm gonna farm this. It's like, yeah, I need to get lucky now. Like that's
Yeah.
not.
We need a 1 divine div card. Is that a thing? Just 1 singular divine orb?
Nope.
No.
Don't think so.
Nope.
We need one of those. It'd be
Yes.
sick.
One of
Maybe
those
I'll
that's
make
kind of
one.
common.
Maybe I'll make one. I got a few div cards.
It'll be 10,
Yeah.
10
Yeah, I have
cards
one
for 1
left.
divine.
I
That's
wanna-
not a bad thing. You'll see it a lot.
Yeah. No, I think that would be a good one. I have like 1 more div card left. I think I'm gonna wait until after PoE2 comes with my last one.
True.
Yeah, try and increase the chances to make it future proof.
Yeah.
It's never gonna be
Maybe
future-proof.
maybe divines won't be important.
They'll remove all crafting. It'll be ruthless.
To be fair, like
Don't even tease.
I'm not even teasing.
I don't know. Some of them could be like a lot better as well. Like my other card, the Undisputed, if the drop rate wasn't so absolutely awful, it would still be like a usable card. But
Yeah.
like there's no chance in hell of ever finishing that.
Which one is it? Is it the Merciless Axe?
Yeah, Merciless Elder Valax. It drops from Chayula.
Yeah.
But even if you kill 100 Chayulas, you're not gonna get a set.
no. That just got
Yeah.
a lot rarer, huh?
Yeah. And they didn't up the drop rate.
Classic.
Yeah, that's,
Classic.
oh my god. Oh my god.
It's ungettable.
Poor
Yeah.
Breach.
Should've been
Yeah,
a dictator.
that really frustrates me because I don't know whether it was intended to be a nerf or intended to be a buffed and just advertised as a buff anyway. I really wish I knew.
The
Yeah,
breach,
I don't-
but all getting heavily nerfed.
No, but the thing is, I think the way they like the way they see it is now all the breaches are pure, so they should be more rare. That's why it's like this now. The problem is like purifying breaches was never an issue. It's like so like you end up with just a lot less uniques and like breach uniques.
Yeah. I don't understand why like they reduced the rarity and quantity of so much stuff in there.
Yeah, I don't know. I think if they wanted to make the splinters less accessible because it's pure, then they should just leave the drop rates the same as all pure stones.
The reality is their philosophy currently is less is more, and they're going super hard on that philosophy. Super hard lately.
Yep.
I don't love it.
I don't love it.
Yeah,
They're just preparing us for PoE2, guys.
yeah.
No. I don't want that.
I will bet
Yeah,
money.
yeah.
PoE2 is less is
Yeah.
more, slower is better. I would bet money
Yes,
on that.
yes, 100%.
I don't want this. No.
It's coming. You gotta get ready. It's coming for sure.
Brace yourself.
It's coming for sure.
Play Ruthless before you play PoE2.
Yeah, then you'll be ready. You're gonna come to PoE2 and be
Yeah.
like, oh my god, I'm so fast.
I'm actually going to
Second
do that.
push.
I will actually play Ruthless before PoE2 to like, because then it'll
Temper
feel
expectations.
100%. Yeah, that's a fucking good. That's a good idea. I'm gonna
Manage
do
your
that.
expectations.
Yeah,
For like a whole month before PoE2 comes out, whenever we get the
And I'll-
announcement date, everyone's just in Ruthless for a month.
yeah, that's a good idea. You should straight up.
Bareback.
If we do that, we're all going to Ruthless trade though.
I'm down. I'm down.
If there's going to be nothing, we can at least all have nothing together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I got
will
a
say-
rag you can have over here.
I picked up boots with 10% movement speed, and I already have them. It's 3 days into the league. Who needs boots?
No, in fact, I don't even hate Ruthless. It's just that I don't know. It is if you. I feel like it's the type of thing you would play like once and be like, all right, that's it. I'm gonna go to this like a second time.
Things are
Valor has
reconnecting
an
on my
epiphany.
computer.
Wow.
Oh,
Shit.
I'm seeing internet.
yay! Jeez, that was quite
the
mad.
Australia revolution.
Yeah.
I wanted to say, I don't mind Ruthless that much, but it feels a little bit weird that they're seemingly forcing the game into that direction when for the past 3, 5, well, maybe even 7 years, they've been pushing the game and growing the game based on the premise of, more generous rewards and more power creep every league and more zoominess. And now I feel like a majority of the audience is sort of alienated from that to some degree.
Yeah, wait for still this to talk about this. Like, he has some stuff to say about the.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has some stuff to say about this. Oh shit, he's here. He's coming.
Oh shit.
He's coming. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna ask him because he wants to talk about this. Yo, Ziz, you know what? You just mentioned something you might wanna say a couple things about. Ziz,
Huh?
hello.
Huh?
Yeah, how do you feel
You hear
about?
us, Ziz?
Tell him again.
Well, I was
Ask the
saying
question.
that it seems a little bit weird that they're forcing the game into a sort of ruthless direction, seemingly, when they've been growing the game and the user base on the premise that the game is becoming more zoomy and more powerful in terms of reward every single league. And now it feels like with the change of design direction, at least slightly, from what we can tell, they're alienating a lot of the existing user base now.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think it's really weird. I mean, I think it is very, very easy for companies to go. It's like you think you do, but you don't. I mean, we see like Blizzard doing this at the moment with the overlay in Diablo 4. So I think it's very, very easy for that to happen. And like honestly, a lot of the time they're right. Like there definitely are cases where it is, yeah, you think you do, but you don't. Because I can't remember what developer said this, but they said players are very good at identifying issues, but not good at identifying fixes. And that's often very true. Like sometimes you might not necessarily have a suggestion or a solution to make it better, but you can feel it is not right.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't fly a helicopter, but if I see a helicopter stuck in the tree, somebody fucked up.
No, I agree
Great
with this.
metaphor as usual.
Yeah, so usually I try to like. I would never try to tell like how to fix stuff. I'm like, yeah, I don't. This is not good. That's all I know. How to like this is not good. This is not balanced. How to balance it? How to fix it? I don't know. It's not my job. Okay, you know.
Trying to get Belo
Oops.
back in.
Yeah,
Oh, right,
Detonate is
right,
back.
Yeah.
Back in full effect and completely change the order again. I can't. I need
Wait,
to
you
have
guys
the
got
order as it was
internet in
before.
Australia now?
We got into
Just
it
now.
now.
Literally just now.
Just now. Brand new.
So we were doing takes on the game seemingly changing direction after growing the user base based on the premise of power creep and more rewards every league. Balor, is there something that comes to mind when talking about that topic?
Well, look, I try not to focus too much on how much all of my everything is becoming more and more like Ruthless every league. I try really hard to just not think about that because it's a depressing thought and I don't like it. And I'm not sure about anyone who's actually happy about it.
Yeah, I feel like Ruthless should just be Ruthless. That's it, and leave it away from the game.
I
Don't
feel
fix
like
the game.
if there's one person who spent 2 hours worth of their time developing Ruthless, that was wasted 2 hours.
See, I don't mind that so much. I don't mind Ruthless existing and being something they do like that. I do mind whenever I feel like the game is becoming more like Ruthless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
It
was not
seemed like.
that,
Please go ahead first.
no, I was just saying that's not the plan, that's all.
Yeah, it seemed from the plans that they communicated, it seemed to be the opposite, that they're making Ruthless in order to not develop the base game into the direction of Ruthless so that they can have the Ruthless fantasy in Ruthless and keep the normal game as it is. And now a lot of people have, I'm not personally 100% convinced, but a lot of people seem to have the take that it's you know, it's going into that direction for sure.
I think it is. I think it is, and I don't like it.
I mean, they said this was going to happen, right? Like, even if we ignore Ruthless for a second, because when did they announce Ruthless? Was it before or after Expedition?
It was during
That was
Expedition. During the backlash of
It was
Expedition, it was
during.
on the Chris Wilson Bay class. That Chris
It was
Wilson was
after
like,
that, right? It was after.
yeah, after
yeah.
Expedition was released,
Right.
and then was the
Yeah.
bad reception of the Expedition nerf, and
Yeah.
then Chris Wilson went on and said, "Oh, we actually doing this side project called Ruthless." No, he didn't actually say Ruthless at the time. It was still
Hard
hard
mode.
mode.
Hard mode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that signifies this was always the plan to slow down the game. And I think in PoE2 it's going to hit hard. It's going to be
Yeah.
the slowest it's been in a very, very long time.
Yep.
They're hoping the clean slate of PoE2 will make people, you know, participate, if you want to call that.
More
If
receptive.
that's true, don't you
Receptive,
think that's going to alienate like a lot of people?
Well, who cares? It's
Um,
PoE2. Like people are
Well,
gonna.
that's the thing that's really scary because the only thing, like, it's not going to really matter to people anything else than are they having fun? So if people are really, really enjoying fast and zippy gameplay and Path of Exile 2 doesn't give that, then there will be other games that will.
For
And
sure.
that's going to be a big problem.
And
Literally,
also-
unironically, Torchlight, Last Epoch, and D4 will be an alternative for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Also, I can't stress this enough. It's not really Path of Exile 2. Because if it was like a real sequel, I'd be able to go back and play the speedy PoE1 game that I want.
Yeah, that's
Calling
cool,
it PoE2 was a marketing decision that happened just a few weeks before the first ExileCon. It was just going to be PoE 4.0. It became PoE2 for marketing reasons because it's better to market, but the whole game changes with it. I can't go back and play the speedy game I
Yeah.
did love.
Yeah,
That if
it's
it
gone
changed the
very
whole,
well.
it's just PoE and it's gone if
gone.
they do it. Like if they
If
do it, it's gone.
If I could lock in one patch, like my wish list, my bucket list of what I want for PoE would be Sanctum with Recombinators. I would literally lock that in, play
Oh,
nothing
please.
else. I fucking loved it. Like nothing was better
Yeah.
than Sanctum for me. It was so enjoyable.
And Rebuck slams.
Recombinators were better than Sanctum for me. I put them in the other order, but they're top 2 still.
Yeah, I agree with BEL. I like Sentinel more, but I love Sanctum too.
Yeah.
I think
just
Sentinel
as
was just.
Yeah, just as recent as Sentinel, we had an insanely rewarding league with like big loot explosions every map, right?
And lots and lots of mobs.
Yeah,
Oh,
Sentinel
yeah.
was top tier. Like interacting with the league mechanic was, you know, it was like smooth. It was satisfying.
It was
You
good
had-
enough.
You had,
Yeah.
you had- you had loot, you had crafting, you had like a new mechanic to work with to make items. It was top tier.
Yeah.
Sentinel League
Sanctum-
was the first time in a very long time that I, as a softcore trade player, have been actively excited about picking up items off the floor.
Yeah.
Let's
It was really
That's-
funny because in Sanctum League, I dropped barely any divine orbs, like raw ones, like barely any.
Yeah.
And I think it was on a walk with Steel that I was like, man, I am so happy they increased the drop rate of divines this league. Like it would have been
I remember
unplayable if it was like Sanctum. And Steel just looks disgusted at me. He's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, and I was like, I have so many. I had like 40 at the time on day 5.
Yeah.
Are you talking about this league?
Yeah.
Yeah, same
Yeah,
with
I've
this
had like
league.
I've had so few.
How many do you have? Like,
At the
you know?
moment in my well,
No, no,
I
I
mean, I don't
mean
know how
you
many I've dropped. Oh god, probably less than probably about 10. I would say about 10.
No, really?
Yeah,
I've dropped
I'd
like
say
6
I've-
or 7, I think.
I would say I've had 60.
On the
Jesus.
ground.
Well,
Yeah,
that
but
most-
includes
that's
altars
counting your
and
divine
gift
altar,
cards.
yeah.
Oh
I've
no,
had-
no, not
okay.
count. Not counting
So I would
altars.
say I've had 60 total. I've had 2 from Brother's Gift, and I've had 1 from Divine Altar. So that's a total of 15. And then I'd say I had like 35 to 45 from Pure Drops. But I do a lot of Blight.
What the hell?
I need to go play Solo Self
I,
Found
I
again for a
had I
while.
had 2 Divines drop during this podcast.
What?
Does it-
I'm doing Blight because it's so easy. That's why I can focus on questions and stuff.
I have to go and play Solo Self Found for a while. I swear to God, I'm picking up 10 or 12 off the floor every day minimum.
And you don't feel good about it.
Well, no, it's fine. Fine. It's what it is.
This is not playing the same game.
I'm literally like after I played Bro Stuff with Steel, I've had Steel Mage RNG. Honestly, like it's been great.
Wait, isn't he having bad RNG this league? Wait, did you
Yeah.
steal
Yeah,
his
I swapped
RNG
it.
during Bro Self Found? You didn't
Yeah.
copy it. You took it from him.
I took it.
Yeah. Whole bro.
Don't ever do another one because it'll go back.
Yeah, next league is this. Next league is this. Let's go.
I think I did it again. It was very fun.
Yeah.
But like Bro
Mine,
SF
man.
as well, my RNG was like fucking mental.
No, but I mean that's just because you're in the same league as Steel. Like it happened too. Like I remember when we were in the same when I remember the day Steel came to Belfast. As soon as he got here, I started
Yeah, we all
getting
got
like
Mage
insane
Bloods.
RNG. Yeah, we all
but
got
it's
Mage
like-
Bloods. I was hitting everything. Like I would click for to make an item. I just make it. I just slam tier 1 life. Like it didn't matter. It still was
It's
around.
like IRL Aura
So-
bot.
Yeah.
Isn't it like when you accidentally put like a red shirt in your white laundry and then it just, paints paints everything a little bit red?
Yeah,
Is
that's
that,
the same
is
with
that how
Steel.
Steel RNG works?
So, that's why all chat SF now is probably. That's why it doesn't have any RNG. This chat's sticking everything.
It's spread out on too many people.
Yeah. Spread
Spread
too
too thin,
thin.
man.
Steel's crazy luck, but spread over 4,000 people just really doesn't hold up.
Yeah. That'd be it.
Next chat SF is for subs only, so it's a smaller group.
Don't give him tips. Wait. We have to still cover the elephant in the room of the massively overpowered Explodey totem build. Do you guys have any opinions on that? Should that have gone in the game like that? Do you think something went wrong, or is it by design? Is it like a failsafe for the Ruthless race?
Oh my god, I totally had this conspiracy theory. So there's totally an extra 0 on top, but I jokingly mentioned it, but it could totally be true that the Explodey totem build is so overpowered with so little gear that they left it in just in case Ruthless didn't get cleared. So there's a way for people to clear Ruthless. There's no shot that's the case, but it's a funny thing to think about.
Why? Why is there no shot that's the case?
Yeah, just like
Yeah.
Oh, maybe it. Maybe, I'm not saying there's no shot.
Yeah,
there's no
I don't have a problem that it's in the game because it's okay. But like it's just going to be here for one league. What I do have a problem with is that they nerf things that are unintended that aren't OP. Like they could just wait with fixing it. Like Black Zenith wasn't that OP. The Facebreaker thing wasn't that OP. Like those things could stay in the game. Like especially when they're being in for what, like 3 weeks? Are we 3 weeks in now?
Yeah. Hollow Palm being able to wear a two-handed sword and get stats. Yeah, it's strong, but it's nothing compared to the totem build. Not even close.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know. I would love to see bugs that aren't like breaking the game. Like the Aura Sucker thing, totally justified. Like Tailwind getting buffed by Aura Effect. Yeah, of course that should be like fixed. But like, I don't know, like Black Zenith in particular, like just really made me sad. Honestly, it devastated me. I was like, this was not anywhere near the power where it needed to get nerfed. And it was just like a fun build. It was like, okay, cool. I can actually play Winter Orb without doing like 40 void batteries kind of budget.
Yeah, the funny part about
Yep.
that is they wouldn't have fixed it if you didn't pick it up off your viewer, right?
Yep.
They shouldn't have snitched.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know. I don't
maybe
mind.
they would have found it anyway, right?
Maybe, yeah.
Because like none of us knew about the face breaker, not face breaker, the hollow palm thing. I didn't know about it till today when somebody came in complaining it was fixed.
Todd Jungron.
But it means there must have been a pretty small group of people who knew that was in and were just like, please don't tell anyone. If you tell people, they'll take it away from me. Like, I want to play this, please.
I mean, somebody
think a
must
lot
have
of
bad
people
reported it.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure a lot of people will just even try it. It's like, why would you not try? It's like people already wear main hands they can't use on whatever, like face breaker builds are just 2-level gems, so they could have. I don't think it's that crazy that someone would be like, oh, I'm just gonna test. Probably a lot of people knew about it. They just didn't talk about it.
Oh, the twister thing though, that made sense to nerf, like because that was like
Service
Well,
stuff, yeah.
Crashing servers, yeah.
Yeah. There's an exception for that. I feel
That's just broken, but not in the like game breaking way, but in the breaking the game way.
Yeah.
It's just different.
No, I don't
Yeah,
mind
I
the
mean,
stuff. I think.
yeah. Noogie was saying it was stupid though that they didn't like give it a DPS boost. That would have been nice if they did that to compensate.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
oh, true. They didn't?
No.
They said they reevaluated it and said it was fine with the nerf.
See,
Well, the fix. What are you going to call it?
things like that totem build existing, I'm fine with, so long as it doesn't end up in the core game exactly like that, or it invalidates everything else. But any amount of disgusting power, or especially when it's a unique build that isn't going to exist later on, I'm cool with when it's a league thing. When it's like, for this league, this exists and it's gross. I'm fine with that anytime it's like a league thing. You can give me any amount of temporary power, especially when it enables a new build that didn't exist before. As long as it's for the league. I'm only concerned with balance once you go, this is in the game forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, obviously they've got a theme of borrowed power now, where they give us stuff and take it away. So
I'm a
Crucible,
big fan of that.
they're going to take away Crucible, obviously.
Yeah.
The stun thing is not borrowed power though, isn't it? It's gonna stay. It's there, right?
What?
The stun thing.
Oh, the sun jewel.
Oh,
The defense.
Yeah.
The defense.
Yeah. That's here to stay for now, at least.
I
Yeah.
mean, there's no way it survives this patch.
That doesn't stay. That's OP.
What do
There's
you
no way.
do you think Vengeance Cascade is gonna stay?
Yeah, I mean they added it for a
I
reason.
hope so.
I don't
That'd be
think they
nice.
should remove it. I
I'd
don't
be
see a reason to remove it.
surprised because like I'd be surprised if they take it away because like they knew
Yeah.
exactly what it was gonna do because of an image.
Yeah. Like I'm pretty
I've
sure
seen a
there's
lot
no
of
reason
people
to-
like, oh, it's gonna get nerfed, and I'm like, why though? Why would it get nerfed?
Like, I know
Yeah.
that it made quite a lot of bow builds like very strong, but I don't
That's fine.
like if I'm like listing the broken mechanics, like the ones that are absolutely disgusting and doing the hundreds of millions of DPS. None of the bow builds making it into that list still. Like
Yep.
they just feel really good and fun to play now, not absolutely over the top broken at all. So I actually I really don't think it needs a nerf. I think you
Tornado
can
Shot
agree.
doesn't even use it.
Yeah,
No.
I agree. This is nice. It's fun.
And it's
Yeah.
sort of like very on theme for attack skills anyway. Because attack skills have always been like, yeah, they'll be really good and even better than spells as long as you get the investment in and you don't have gold oils in the first 5 hours of a league.
Yeah, no, nothing wrong with Vengeance Cascade.
I just noticed the Vengeance Cascade item is
Yes,
like
oils.
icon is like oils being thrown by a green arm. It's like
Yeah,
corrupted
but it's
oils
the
or
wrong
cleansed
oils.
Is that wait?
Yeah.
That's the thing in game. I mean, that's the thing.
that is the
the
symbol in
official-
game. Apparently, yeah.
What?
Here, this is how it
Yeah.
looks with the border, and
thought it
I
was a
just
meme
zoomed
for a
in on
second.
it.
I thought
Yeah,
it
but
was a
it's
meme
the
for a
wrong
second.
oils.
What?
So it's very upsetting to me.
That's
What?
funny.
Hilarious. Yeah, I mean, it kind of Yeah, I don't know. It kind of links into the totem thing. Like, would they have implemented it without knowing how powerful it is? I mean, sure, the totem thing we could say, yeah, that goes away after the league for sure. That's not here to stay. So let people have some fun with some borrowed power, as people refer to it. But like Vengeance Cascade is an implementation on the tree. Like, would they implement something just to nerf it right the league afterwards?
No, don't make any sense.
Probably not.
Nemesis.
Yeah,
No, but Nemesis, they
But
probably, I mean,
they didn't
probably
know.
knew. I mean, they probably
I-
knew. Like, no, come on. Like, it's not exactly,
They
it's not
didn't
exactly,
know.
you know, out there.
Look, they didn't know. We knew before the league even started, before the item existed. There were already builds around, and we all knew.
Yeah, man.
And I
it was pretty
promise,
obvious.
like everyone in the GGG office is smarter than me, and I knew before the
Yeah.
league started, so they knew.
Yeah, but maybe just because they knew doesn't mean they cared, and they were just like, this is what happens.
Yeah, maybe they didn't care, and they were like, "Ah, we'll just see how much they break stuff, and that's fine."
Yeah.
But they definitely knew. Like the idea that something like that comes in and they don't know what we're gonna do with it. That's no.
That one's pretty straightforward.
Well, if you think about it, right, you're saying they knew, but then the patch after, right, they were like, well, this doesn't work anymore. This fundamental thing changes. Does this now? You know, look at Fireball no longer functions.
Mhm.
Spark duration no longer doubles, right? So I think, you know, they knew, but like they also were like, we'll just let them test it, see what's broken, and just delete those things. Because basically what happened, right?
Which, by the way, also goes back to something I've said like a whole bunch of times over the last few leagues. I actually kind of love that approach of let the brand new chase item be disgustingly strong. See how we break it, and then balance it how you want.
Not false.
balance
That
it
was
how you
fun.
want, though? Or like in the case of Omni and Ashes, for example, they massively nerfed the rarity. They made them way harder to acquire, but they kept them at the same power level. Is that the right approach, or are there
Yes.
some examples
That's
where
a
you would
better
like to see?
approach. I like
Yeah,
that one
100%.
much more.
Yeah, they did that with something recently. I can't remember what though.
Diadem.
Yes. I like that they nerfed the drop rate, but not the item. Agreed. 100%.
I did too
Yeah,
until
I mean,
now. I've done over 22 Katarinas and I don't have it.
But it'll feel
Yeah,
good when you
that's
get it, and it's still a chase item
Yeah.
worth going
Yeah.
for. So.
No, I do like it a lot more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do like that approach more. But the beginning of that part, what they did with Ashes and Omni, the beginning part is the important bit to me. When you put the new broken thing in, the league you put it in, super common. Let everybody have
Yeah,
it.
that's what they did. They did
Let
that every
everyone
time.
have
They did,
it.
Yeah,
But-
they did that with
but next
domination. They're doing
time-
this with the Unix. Yeah.
But next time, tell us that's what you're doing immediately. Be like, here's the brand new chase item that's really strong. By the way, it's going to be way more common this league where we introduce it, and we'll be making it far less common in the future, so that people aren't surprised. Because the only reason they got pushback is because no one knew. It went from being nothing, here's a divine, to it's 60.
No, I honestly, like, anyone who didn't know that would probably have a hard time opening a door, in my opinion. I said that as soon as I was like, there's no way that's gonna have
Yeah.
the same rarity.
Yeah, there was no way. I'm pretty sure everybody predicted that. Yeah, they're just gonna
Yeah.
change the drop rates because the items were way too good. Actually, that makes me wonder, what are they gonna do with the new uniques this league? Because there's so many insane new uniques this league, but they're not tied to the league mechanic. They're just in the global drop pool.
Some
So,
are.
yeah, like Fourth Vow is global.
Yeah.
The Tainted Pact is global. I think most of what else is there that's like out there that's like kind of busted right now? The main two that I can think about is like Fourth Vow and Tainted Pact.
What was the
Oh,
one
there's
that's not tainted?
the bow.
Were you talking about the adrenaline gloves?
Oh yeah, well there's
the
these
rage-
two, but I mean they're not. Yeah, I mean these are pretty good, but they're not. They're never gonna be end game because they're gloves, so you can't use those. You can't use gloves in the end game. Unique gloves, I mean. Almost built. But these gloves in particular, you can never use them because you need suppression on your gloves. So. And these gloves are pretty good. And the neck, Tainted Pact, Fourth Vow. What else is there? Well, I can't think of uniques that are not other uniques that are other to global pool that are kind of pretty good. Yeah, like I don't know what they're gonna do with Fourth Vow and Tainted Pact. I think these are the main two that are kind of broken, and I don't know what they're gonna do with them.
I don't even think Tainted Pact is that broken, Khan. I'll
Yeah,
have to
just wait
see
until
it.
I get it. Yeah,
Yeah, I'll-
just wait after I get it rolling. After I get it going, you'll. Yeah.
Dude, I'm just telling you what's gonna happen. Mark my words.
I
all
know.
on
I know.
this
It's,
podcast. No. What's gonna happen is Khan's gonna die, and it's gonna be really funny, and I'm gonna laugh so hard. I'm so excited.
do you know what? I'm gonna. I'm only gonna play that thing to kill Ubers, and then that character. That's all he's gonna do. It's never gonna enter map. So these things you think are gonna happen, they will not happen because they can't happen if I don't enter maps with it. Okay, it's not gonna happen.
Right, so
Yeah,
if
they
you're doing
impact
bosses,
the
you're
book.
always sure that that your leech is going to outlast the poisons that you have on you.
No, it doesn't
No.
matter. It's always outlast. I'm Slayer. They're always gonna outlast the poison. You can't get enough poison duration for it to last longer than your leech. So that's not
And
the
there's
problem.
no
The
random rares that remove your leech effects.
Yeah, that's the thing. See, it's like part of the things that like you just died. Like that one that's the one I'm scared of. It's like forgetting to pop worms and then hit a cannot be leech monster and boom, suddenly you have well, a pack is the worst because each you're gonna apply, I don't know, like 10 poison instantly. That's like infinity damage. You literally just want, it would look like hitting a reflect and not being reflective. That's what it would look like. So that I'm scared of. But like I have a lot of fail safes to prevent that from happening on the build. So I got my bases covered. I think I'll keep. I'll worry about this after Exalt qualifiers. Okay, dude. Dude, I have a whole note. I have a whole note section there. I have like a bunch of notes about this, like things that I should not forget about. That it should be ready for when I get it together. But if it works though, that's gonna be some. Oh, I can't wait. Why is there? See, that's why I'm sad that there's Exalt qualifiers like right now, because I really wanted to finish making that build. I think that build's gonna be busted.
Can't wait to see it. One more thing I definitely wanted to touch on is the Molten Shell nerf. How significant do you think is that? I mean, they cut it in half, right? But does it steer people towards other guard skills, or are they still not competition?
Still the best one.
That's the problem. Yeah, that's the problem. They nerfed Molten Shell, but they didn't make the other skills usable. So you still use Molten Shell, it's just shit. It's not. I mean, it's not great, but it's still the best. Well, also,
Well, you do
I think
need-
like you have VMS. Even VMS is still good regardless. Like VMS, you had way too. They're way too big anyway. Like you would never use your entire VMS when you use VMS, so that didn't change much. Also, you got nerfed less. So just because VMS exists, you're always gonna use Molten Shell.
Yeah, it's more about like that they should buff the other ones.
Yeah. Like Immortal
Yeah,
Call, for example, should be longer to be used.
Yeah,
Vegas.
I have been experimenting a little bit, not because I don't think Molten Shell is the best, but because I've been playing 100% Fizz conversion builds, so I just don't have armor. And so what I've been doing, I have been trying Immortal Call instead, and they're pretty weak compared to Molten Shell, but it's okay. And I don't feel as bad because before you were forced to Molten Shell, you had to Molten Shell, so I don't feel quite as bad. I don't feel like I'm dumb for not running Molten Shell. I just feel like I'm running the weaker guard skill.
I feel like my problem is like if Immortal Call was just a bit longer, a bit bigger base duration, it'd actually be good. I would use it on like every class that can generate endurance charges consistently. Like on Chieftain, you'd always do Immortal Call, and Jug would always do Immortal Call, I think.
You were running it without increased duration, right? Like you didn't have.
Yeah, but that's the thing. If you don't have the suckers. If you have the suckers, then maybe it's okay. But
yeah, because
then it's and then there's the mana issue too, because custom damage taken is.
Zero mana cost.
Zero mana cost. Wait, how? You stack. Oh yeah, you stack the thing. Yeah. Pathfinder is broken. Pathfinder is broken this league.
Yeah.
It definitely leaves a lot of room for like other skills to be good longer until you switch into Molten Shell. Like Steel Skin for someone who doesn't get the insane amount of armor or the relatively high amount of armor you need to make Molten Shell better. It just stays good for longer, I guess. But yeah, Steel Skin does have its own set of problems with the only half the base duration, right? It's like 1.5 seconds versus 3 seconds on Molten Shell.
It's lower cooldown though, so. But the main problem I think with sealskin is like, if you don't have armor, then you want to use sealskin. But if you use sealskin, you need 155 strength. Where are you gonna get 155 strength on a build that doesn't have armor?
Not just that, but you're
Actually,
forced to use a high level casting damage taken, or self casting.
Or just self-casting a 1.5 second guard skill is kind of
Yeah.
So
Putting it on left click is too much gambling.
No, actually left click sealskin makes sense because it's short duration, short cooldown, so the uptime is actually not that bad, and it's not like you're not gonna self-cast it, and you can't you can cast it damage taken, so your only choice is to left click it and just whatever. It's like outside of boss contact, it's fine. And even when you're bossing, well, you just self-cast or use another skill. Yeah, I feel like they should just make the other ones more usable.
Maybe something for evasion characters, an evasion-based guard skill. Although I would not know how that would work.
I don't know. Multi-shell before evasion.
I've been making a model call work, but yeah, it is awkward with endurance charges because the only endurance charge I could get was the corruption on boots. So I want 5 on a model call and only have 4, so it is a bit awkward.
Do you even generate enough?
Yeah, I'm running Duress Defiance.
Okay.
So that's 100% endurance charge on kill. And then
on kill, but on bosses.
No, it's a magic time build. Yeah, but it's a magic time build.
Okay.
So I'm just
which class is that? You can't reach to the duelist endurance charge?
Pathfinder. But I'm really localized towards Ranger. It's like all the nodes are in Ranger.
Yeah, it's quite a far travel and not that much stuff that you'd want down there. Well, please feel free to add before I change the topic.
Well, I was just going to say, someone in chat mentioned Vaal Grace. That is great, but it's not a god skill, obviously. But that is good.
Yeah.
That is good.
That's true. I'm a Vaal Grace enjoyer. But like with so many Vaal skills now, like I said, I play Animate Weapon, and I like Vaal Animate Weapon just for the fun. I'm not sure it's actually worth a Vaal skill in my build because it's like super random how much power it gives you. And it obviously doesn't benefit from the flat fizz per level to lingering blade animated weapons and all that. But with so many Vaal skills now, there's an insane pressure on getting these Doriani's Institute to get your 21 gem. And yeah, also like in my build, I don't know whether I'd put a Vaal Grace in on top of Vaal Haste and Vaal Animate Weapon. I was actually thinking about dropping Vaal Animate Weapon before I get a 21 Vaal gem because 21 regular Animate Weapon would still be really, really good. And Vaal Animate Weapon has just the insanely long soul gain prevention that's so much longer than its duration. And the Vaal Haste is just soul gain prevention is over after like 7-8 seconds if I don't link increased duration.
Is Vaal Animate Weapon the one that raises random unique weapons?
Yeah.
Yeah, raises at the level where I'm at. It raises 11 weapons and turns them into uniques with item requirement between 48 and 100. And actually quite a lot more Kingmakers than I would have expected. I mean, you can't know the weighting because Kingmaker is not a drop unique. So I was like, oh, Kingmaker is going to be super rare. But I actually get multiple Kingmakers per day with Vaal Animate Weapon. Well, I wish it lasted longer than 26 seconds.
Wish I lasted longer than 26 seconds.
Sad. Right. Anything you can tease about Gauntlets, Israel?
There's no Gauntlet this day because of D4.
Oh, no Gauntlet at all?
Nope.
Is that already publicly announced?
Yep. Can't do one. Just don't have enough time.
Because I was talking to the BPL people a couple of days ago, and they said they're considering moving it around the Gauntlet. And, well, no idea.
Yeah.
No, I guess they got freedom.
Don't have to do that.
Well, now they have to plan it around D2 and D4 beta weekend.
And Exalt qualifiers, because I can't play these Exalt qualifiers. Yeah, I can't play. I don't know.
There's just so much happening this cycle.
Yeah.
It's sad because I want to play BPL this league also, but I can't if it's too early. And I can't if it's too late. Actually, can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look,
I'd have to.
this is only a 2-month league, right? Like,
True.
it's hard to fit everything in.
Yeah.
But there's no world in which I'm not playing D4 at launch. So there's easily
That's
a world
fair.
in which I never play D4 again. If it fails, if it's not good, that's a world that could exist. But there's no world that I don't play to launch at.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think it's generally like a great thing that there's so much happening in the ARPG sector, and ultimately it may, if the next patch goes right and PoE2 goes right, it will all fuel into Path of Exalt's success in the long run.
If they play it right.
Yeah, it's a
Could be
big
the
if.
opposite. Could be the opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think we touched upon all the topics that I wanted to bring up with you guys. If you guys want to bring up something, you're welcome to do that now. And I'm going to scout through chat because there was like 1 or 2 questions that were really good that I would want to answer. If you guys have the time for it, obviously I don't want to overextend too much. We've already been going for 2 hours. And with the new tech, you guys can leave anytime you want. If that, don't have to feel like you're bricking my layout when you leave. You saw Balor was dropping out just fine.
Yeah, we're just testing the
Don't have
thing.
too much
Yeah,
time
that's
actually,
definitely.
because we have a babysitter today.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking going over 2:30, maximum 10 minutes, I think. 10.
You're planning on leaving me at home alone, Ziz, with the babysitter?
So you like that?
Wah.
Right.
Still needs a babysitter himself.
Dude, speaking of, that door thing that Ziz likes to say? Like, oh, these people don't know how to open doors. If you ever get the opportunity to meet Ziz and go to his house, try to open and shut his door.
Why?
It's like a 3-man job to lock the bloody thing.
It's not. It's very easy.
It looks like you're literally trying to shield charge when you lock your door.
That's true.
So if you can maneuver that door, you're smart, right?
Still can't do it.
I can't do it. I cannot open and shut his door.
Not played enough heist.
Uh-huh. Yeah, the first time I go to this new place, I open the door and I close the door. And then maybe an hour later, I get a scolding for leaving the door open. And I'm like, I swear to Christ, I closed the door. And they just didn't tell me it doesn't shut like a normal door. Because obviously they have a cat, right? So they don't want the cat to escape. But this happened to every guest. Every guest has the same scolding.
I'm just like the first time, because you don't know, right? You think the door is closed, but then you don't know. Like it looks closed, The door is closed, You look at the door, yeah, it's closed. I can't.
Every guest has the same like.
Does it make a click sound?
Yeah, but it
Because
has 2
I
click
judge
sounds.
closed doors by the way it goes click.
Yeah, it has 2 click noises. There's the click and then there's the click click. But I didn't know the click click.
It's all good.
Yeah, so like after you get told, okay, I guess I have to do this now. But,
You just gotta like up the handle and then you're fine.
yeah,
You can't just shut the door. You have to then jiggle the handle.
You like jiggling handles.
Jiggle, jiggle.
You're doing a great job stalling, but it's not enough. I just can't find the good questions anymore that I have in my head. I should have copy-pasted them. I'm so bad.
I tried.
Wait, there's even a functionality to star them here. Wow. Okay.
While this has been going on, I've been trying to build a Crucible tree. Someone's been trying to build a Crucible tree for me. They've been running the maps while I'd tell them what to do and help buy stuff. And after all of this time and several hours on stream, we got what looked like the absolute perfect attempt. And then we hit it and everything merged together exactly like it should have with the best chance possible. and the most mandatory node of the 3 nodes that I needed mutated into something else.
Oh, that's so lucky.
Yeah,
It,
I got
it mutated and tiered up from giving me onslaught to giving me frenzy charges, but no onslaught anymore.
nice.
It's
That's
the most
That's
important
something-
part.
Yeah, I hate that part. I had something similar happen to my axe. Like I finally get the 4 mods, and then one of the most important ones get downgraded. I'm like,
Yeah.
are you serious?
There's
After all
nothing we could have
this.
done about that. It was the perfect case. It was literally the
Yeah.
perfect merge. And there's no other option. Mutation just randomly. Okay.
Classic.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that part, not great.
All right, I got one that I wanted to ask and that I skipped over because I didn't want to change topics at the time, and that was: do you guys think 5-way level boosting in trade should be changed or fixed? Do you think 5-way level boosting is too?
You do- All right, go ahead, Mr. SC boy.
I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care.
My
That's
stuff
what
for
they
trade
say
is
in
supposed
SSF.
to be easy mode. I think it's fine.
Yeah, I don't care either.
Okay, so let's just get one thing out of the way. We're just talking. We're all friends here. Everyone who plays Path of Exile, I appreciate you. I'm also like way too over invested into the game, and this is just rambling. This is not necessarily a take. Okay, this is just thinking out loud. Thinking out loud, right? Don't you think it's a bit odd that PoE Ninja can no longer pass new characters because the cap, like we literally are reaching a threshold where there's too many level 100s that they can no longer pass new characters. Like, because the amount of level 100s in softcore trade is obnoxious. And the 5-way farming has everything to do with it. It has everything to do with it. So it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I
Wait,
could
wouldn't that
see
be a
that.
problem no matter what, just from the API limit?
Yeah. But it's specifically a problem because of the 5-way farming. Like 5-way farming is how people do it.
Okay,
Yeah,
but
because
it was
you-
less
you
of a
can-
problem when we had a daily chart, and we don't have a daily chart anymore, and I'm not sure why that disappeared.
Yeah.
Yeah, because without that, I'm pretty sure you would have like very few level 100s in Softcore if it was not for this,
Mhm.
compared to what there is now.
Before that, it was just chalupa rotors, and without those, you just
Well, they've already
do
deleted.
syndicate
They've already deleted
rotors.
breach
and-
zones.
Yeah,
And
Syndicate
like-
rotations are harder to pull off.
yeah.
Yeah, but that just makes them worth more. Like, I don't know. There's always ways to power level, and
Oh, absolutely. There's always
you
been ways to
don't-
power level.
this just falls in the category: if you don't like it, don't do it. To me, which is not something I often say. I don't know. I don't feel like it really matters.
That's totally fair, right? It's just a discussion. But it does completely and utterly devalue 100 in like massively.
Oh, it absolutely does.
Like
But
completely squeezes one out over it.
I mean, I don't care whether it's fixed or not, but yes, I don't think I like that it's a thing, but I don't care. I don't know. It's like weird. It's like I don't care if it's fixed or not, but I also don't think it's kind of lame.
I think it's been a while though since just level 100 was like a big achievement.
Mm-hmm.
Like it becomes more of an individual thing. Like it's still going to be exciting to the people who do it.
Yeah. I mean, the people I talk to in chat SF just say, yeah, I've never hit 100. And then I ask them, like, have you thought about doing 5-ways? And they'll just say, nah, that doesn't count. That's how they look at it.
Right.
yeah, it doesn't count.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
even without 5-ways right now, like compared to like each patch, it's very, very different, right? Like there were patches where like hitting 100 was like crazy hard. And it would take you like the very, very few people were able to do it. And then like now you started
Yes.
like I feel like I accidentally got level 100 now. Whereas before you had to
Yeah,
push
actually,
for it.
yeah. Lastly, I played the damn minion. I played the minion build. I played a minion build with minions killing stuff, not me. And I'm just walking around, and I played that thing to level 100. I don't know how. Like I remember when I PB'd the build, I PB'd to level 93 because I was like, I'm not gonna play that thing beyond like 93, maybe 94,
Yep.
95 if I'm crazy. And suddenly I was level 100. I was like, what?
And I
just
don't think
read-
that's a bad thing.
I just read something brilliant in Twitch chat. I know what they need to do. They just need to rework Legion or buff Legion like they did.
Oh,
with-
just like they did with Breach. Yes, that's true.
What if they
roughly-
rework Legion the way they reworked Pathfinder though?
Ah, that'd be badass,
Oh.
actually. I'd be okay with this too.
Well, actually, wait. No, I don't like the rework thing because we don't have divines. Now, if you want to get the jewel you want, you need to farm more jewels. You're not gonna divine jewels. Like I don't divine jewels. Like what the hell? If you want the thing you want, like,
Yeah, no one's divining jewels.
yeah. So no, actually, no rework.
Yeah, I should also clarify as well. I agree. Like, I don't really care too much either. But
Yeah.
it's just something I was thinking about. Okay, I had thoughts in my head. Is that illegal to have thoughts? Is it?
No, for sure.
It is on the internet though.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like you
No, I feel the
already have
same.
like you already have like harder modes, right? You even have Ruthless for the people that feel like the game's too easy. So it's okay.
True.
There's a bunch of things in the game where like I don't have particularly strong feelings about them, but if I was asked to make a design decision, I would change them. And I think I agree with that. You know, it sort of devalues 100. But moving on, as we're running out of time, we got 2 more questions from chat that I picked up. Next time I know how the starring works, then it's great. Should the league mechanic be so reliant on other league mechanics, in this case, beast split or imprint? Or do you think actually it's a positive thing that, you know, it interacts with the previous league in that way?
I think it's a positive. I like that
It's a
I
positive.
had to. Yeah, I like that I had to farm beasts to make my things because I was never farming beasts like ever. Like it was the first time in a long time that I farmed beasts because there was a use for it now. Just like anything that makes you interact with mechanics that are like somewhat underused or like ignored is good. Just like the same way Sentinel made you do Alva and Delve. I think it's good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fair enough.
I mean, for me, I like it, except imprint beasts are kind of a pain because with the split beasts, you have fossils at least, which I believe also work on most cases as well. I believe, but split with imprint beasts on the other hand, you need the imprint, and they're quite hard to get. It's hard to target farm, even if you have the deep node and everything. So I've been really struggling in Chat SF to get imprint beasts, and
So
this
I
is
think
still
it
in the
took
trade
me.
league.
Yeah, like I think when I found my imprints, I did around 120, maybe 130, maybe 150 even. It'd be between 120 to 150 in hearts, including wing scarabs, and I think I got 3 imprints.
Yeah.
Total.
Yeah.
And the thing, like I think I had easily like 30 beast bosses. Yeah, so I had like 1 imprint for like 10 beast bosses. Around that.
You need a lot of imprints to make one item.
Yeah, you need a lot. Yeah.
So,
I was really happy when I hit it on. Yeah.
Yeah.
When I finally hit it, but also the thing is, I think the map matters. I know this was a thing in Bistro League. I don't know if it's still a thing, but you know, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna run terraces because I know frogs spawn there, so I'm just gonna do terraces. Like as soon as I started doing them, I did a few terraces. Boom, I got 1. And I kept farming there, and I got them
bias.
like yeah, I mean, you know, like, it's probably. I mean, it might be cool, but like I don't know, like might as well. Like,
I've been getting some in Crimson Temples as well, so I mean, surely you
can get them anywhere, but it's just that you will encounter frogs a lot more often in Terrace. I feel like, just like that's how it works in Bistro League.
They've removed that, though. That's not the case anymore.
Sure, that's gone. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it might.
What I've learned, Terrace spawns imprints. They buff the divine drop rate randomly. Running down those guys, yeah.
No. Listen, I mean, listen. It makes sense though. Like it spawns. It's the map type of the map. Like
yeah, it makes sense. This has gotten like 60 divines this league. It makes sense.
Yeah, no, but it doesn't make sense. Okay, you just got lucky. It's not luck.
Ah, it's like he got lucky and you got not lucky.
Yeah, exactly. You know me. Did you tell me I'm lucky?
Yeah. All right.
Clock twice right a day.
All good takes, and now we got another current question. Last but not least, if Bone Zone were to get 50% nerfed, what would be the second best melee build?
The second best melee build would be not playing melee.
That's the correct answer.
Yeah,
I agree.
Like, every other skill, like you can make stuff playable, but you can't start fresh melee and not hate your life doing so if you don't play Boom Shatter. There's a reason I play only Boom Shatter because there's nothing else to play. That's reasonable. These are maybe Bladestorm Rage Vortex, but then you paper and you probably die. Because like, yeah.
Any other melee build isn't a melee build. Frostblades with return is actually looking pretty good. But
Oh,
like it
actually,
doesn't,
Can league
it
start that
doesn't.
though?
Yeah, but that's the thing. You need vengeance.
Yeah, I wouldn't league start Frostblades,
Yeah.
but it looks
No,
pretty good as
no,
like a functioning
no.
build.
Actually, wait, hold on. Actually,
Don't
because
league
I
start
was thinking,
Frostblades.
I was thinking about testing some heavy strike speedruns to Exalt and compare them to Bone Shatter. Because essentially, like heavy strike is basically Bone Shatter, but bad. But maybe it's playable with splash now. I don't know. It might be playable with splash.
Are you okay?
No, because listen. Like the splash node actually was gonna make heavy strike actually clear fine with extra strikes. I actually think it's probably playable. I haven't tested it yet. I actually want to test it. I will test it. But
I wanna see
either way, like,
this.
yeah, I will test it when I have time.
Definitely don't want to do it.
No, because I remember testing it when I think it was in BPL when I was farming Uber Cyrus. I did one of them with heavy strike instead of Bone Shatter on a level 13 gem, whatever, and it was fine-ish. Like it was worse, but it was like not that much worse. It was like not like crazy worse. It was not like okay, I'm destroying the boss who I'm taking like 2 hours to kill it or anything like that. Yeah, like yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
if Bone Shatter gets nerfed, yeah, I think you just don't play melee. You don't league start melee. That would be inting, sadly.
Damn. All right.
Yeah.
That sums it up greatly. Do you guys want to do a quick closing round, give yourself a shout out, and then say what people can be hyped for when they watch your content, what they should be looking out for? Steel, do we get a lot more crafting tutorial videos in this league?
Definitely. So yeah, I do YouTube now on Steel Mage, and I obviously still stream sometimes. I took a break recently, but I'm back on Steel Mage on Twitch.
Sounds good. Let's check it out. I had a lot of fun doing my homework for the podcast. It was good stuff. Karn, what can we expect? Any builds that you're hyped to try other than the Tainted Pack thing, or?
I might want to do some Void Forge with the new tier 5, the Vaal Cleave. I want to do Vaal Cleave Void Forge with the Spectral Wolves. You can get on Trenders that because Spectral Wolves, gives a ton of flat. So with Void on crit and Void Forge is gonna be a crit build. So I think I might do that, but I don't know if I'm gonna have time. There's like a lot of things I want to do, but there's no time. Like the Tainted Pack build, 2 Vision of Ints, the Void Forge with Spectral Wolves. Vaal Cleave build I want to do. There's some other stuff, but yeah.
Yeah, and then all the qualifiers, the racing, the events.
Yeah, that's the thing. Now all I'm doing is I'm just in Act 1 to 5 like all day, every day now. So I haven't been streaming much. I don't know. I'll try. Yeah, that's the thing. I feel like I would just want to commit 100% to the qualifiers. So I probably won't be streaming until the qualifiers, I think. But yeah,
makes sense.
I'll be back after that. I might just sneak in a few here and there. I'm not sure. We'll see.
All right. How about you, Zizaran? Are you going to continue with that insanely full YouTube schedule throughout the next month of the league?
Probably go down to like 2 videos a day, but yeah. Spamming YouTube. It's been really, really fun. And yeah, just scissoring on everything and full of spam.
Please spam it, guys. Send it hard. YouTube, Valor, any YouTube coming up?
Yeah, but mostly just on the builds and plan, and also my job for the next few weeks has changed because my original plan was to make a bunch of money, which I did, and then use that to build trees with this weird end points, the weird skills, and just force as many of them into builds and see if any of them were good or fun. But I've now decided that the only thing going to Crucible endgame content will do is give me my 13th reason. So I'm just not going to do that. And instead, I'm going to try and make Magic Find work properly without dying as a solo player. So that's what I'm going to try and do for the next little bit.
That sounds like a fun project. Yeah. As for myself, I'm going to make sure that we'll have plenty of podcast content to look forward to throughout this league. And try and seed in like a stream or two on YouTube or on Twitch here and there. I'm trying to do high energy streams on YouTube, and then on Twitch I'll just do whatever and chilling with the boys and blasting music and whatnot. And that's been going well. You know, we got a podcast episode coming up on Saturday, actually 9 p.m. GMT. We're going to be joined by Denny Pon, Burger Brush, and Era, and it's going to be a fun little change of perspectives for that episode. So make sure to go to fated.fyi/next right after the podcast. It will be updated to the countdown for the new episode. I'll try and list it a couple of days before again here on the YouTube, so you can follow, like, or press the notify button. And yeah, thank everyone for tuning in. Leave a comment and a like as always. And I hope to see you all on the next podcast. Thanks for joining, and bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Wait,
Thanks for having
there's
us.
actually outro music
Peace.
as I drop the people out. Here, there we go. Bye-bye.